I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes.
It's the old
He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Yeah. Got them lions in the building. Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been to bed. Man, they know they no contest. Yahoo, he do the bled. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to thought. All the sons and all the daughters. Standing all with big manotas. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh Lord, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he forest. He thrown into the hills like a Philistine. Jihad hitting hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the Ratchet team. JJ 7000 to the bait league. Yeah, I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. He respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. Really give me up. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother. Balling and crawling all the way from H-time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? Why you lying? You gon' cry, you gon' get it. Me, I'm like a frog, nigga, ribbit. Of course, it's in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Michael got the raw, Shaq and Willie. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, arms open wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as a realist, yeah. Death by car, black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been in bed. Yeah. Man, they know they no contest. Yeah. Yahoo, he get a bed. Wow, what's that? Why didn't they take it over? Number one debate league, you heard me? When it's up, it's stuck. I'm selling on everything, nigga. Metaphorically, of course.
Yeah. You already know what it is. Welcome to the Lion's Den. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbat. Kwam Yashara. Welcome to the den. Man, you know this episode of Lion's Den is brought to you by that common sense. We can explain it to you, but we can't understand it for you. You know how it go down up in the den, man. We got two very intelligent brothers that's gonna do a scientific build. You know what I'm saying? Some things that's been going around saying the community need to be corrected. So I'm gonna let these brothers go ahead and introduce themselves. And I'm gonna get out the way. You know, first, before we get these brothers in there, we gotta get the queen in the building and go ahead and introduce yourself. And then we're gonna get this show on the road. All right, she might be having technical difficulties with her mouth, but as Sister Kareem, when you, if you can chime in, go ahead. Everybody, you know. Oh, I didn't fell out.
My bad. Shalom to the chat. Shalom to everybody on the panel.
All right. All right. Now we got that out the way. You know, everybody know us. But hey, you know, a lot of people know these brothers, but I like to go ahead and let them introduce himself. Mudiwa Mugaba. You know, so this brother been around the den for a while. He dip in, he dip out. He's always welcome here. This is one of our scientific guys. Go ahead, Mudiwa, introduce yourself.
All right, what's going on, beloved? This is Mugabe. How's my audio? Is my audio clean?
Man, you got your new phone. It's been going good ever since you got your new phone, man. And you told Obama, hey, you gave it. You told Obama, hey, you take your phone back. I know.
Yeah, this that Biden phone. This that new Biden phone. This ain't that
Biden.
Obama
Okay.
phone.
All right.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
I'm
yeah.
It's
back. I'm
fine.
back.
You Biden. Yeah, I ain't mad at you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, this is your brother Mudiwa Mugabe coming to you live from planet Los Angeles. Um, I want to say Hotep, Shalom, Habaragani, uh, peace, prosperity, and love and light to everybody listening. Maybe we could have a positive build, and try to add a little meat and potatoes to the community as far as science is concerned. I don't fashion myself as being a scientist, so to speak, but I am a citizen scientist. I uh, I was a chemistry major in college. I am a college dropout. I wish I would have took biology instead of just chemistry, but I'm kind of familiar with science a little bit, and I'm self-taught on a lot of things, and I just want to bring science to the community from an African perspective, and at the same time being honest about the African perspective that I bring to it. And that's it.
All right. Now, one more accomplishment that you left off.
What's
You
that, brother?
graduated. You graduated from the Lions Den Academy of Education and Information.
No,
Yeah,
bro.
back in 2018.
I'm the
You
dean.
Right,
I'm
graduated.
the
right.
dean.
Yeah,
I'm
he
the
Yeah,
he, he
dean,
magna
bro.
cum
yeah.
laude.
So we go.
He magna
You
cum
gonna leave
laude.
that out. This
Ah,
ain't no
there you
secret
go.
society. You can tell them where you graduated from.
Oh
All right.
God,
Now we got the Smushinator, the Lions Den Intercontinental Champion in the building, man. And it's like everybody running from this guy, man. He can't get a debate because they scared of his intellect. Go ahead and introduce yourself, family.
Yeah, man. You know who it is, man. It's the most hated, the most underrated, the most underdebated, the most underestimated, goddammit. The Smusher has the Smushinator. You know what I'm saying? I'm your Smusher man, baby. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Me and Mugabe, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother, man. We was all Gorilla Gang together, you know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
listen, man, I'm reclaiming my title as the Great Gorilla. I was calling you the Great Gorilla, but I'm reclaiming my title as the Great Gorilla. You know what I'm saying? We will not have it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So yeah, this dude OTQ, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother. Love him to death. You know what I'm saying? He's a wild stallion. You know what I'm saying? He brought up the issue of calling humans monkeys. And this is a problem. This is there's a serious problem with special classification in science. You know what I'm saying? Even if we want to go back to the evolutionary scale, which I agree with, even as Israelite, Rastafari Israelite, I don't take nothing away from evolution at all. You know what I'm saying? I look at the scriptures and stuff from a very esoteric standpoint, but also I explore the historic and the scientific aspects that there are. While the Bible is not a book of science, however, you know what I'm saying, science is still in the book. Is you know what I'm saying? It's there. It's just not defined or detailed because the book is not about science. It's more about moral, you know what I'm saying, codes and you know what I'm saying, and the historicity of different nations, et cetera, et cetera. And so from that, you know what I'm saying, me and Mugabe, you know what I'm saying, we agree on a lot of things when it comes to evolution, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to how we view science, you know what I'm saying? He may not come from a very, he's not coming from a Israelite standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Coming from an African standpoint, which I also believe, you know what I'm saying? Here's my brother Kofi. Man, Kofi, why can't Shalom thought
Hold up,
can we get
man.
all y'all brothers on the panel? God, yo,
Hey,
we got some scholars
hey,
right
hey,
here,
hey,
and
hold
these
up for
cats
one
need to
minute.
be on the panel.
Hey, Mudawa.
What's going on, family?
Subconsciously, I knew that for some reason you two was connected. But now it really hit me because I remember y'all was Gorilla Gang because this brother right here, Zion, used to be a atheist.
Right, right.
And
And he
now
lost his way. He lost his
testimony
way.
when you come on home, Zion. You
He
see, he didn't
lost his
came
way.
home. I might be making a
I
mistake
lost my
of
way
bringing
when
him
I
back to
lost
his
faith
whole
in the
Gorilla
Most High.
Gang crew.
He lost
You
his
know?
way, bro. He lost his
So
way.
he lost. Oh
Yeah.
man! But
He lost.
let's let Ruger the Lion go ahead and introduce himself real quick, man, and we're gonna get this bill going. Go ahead, Ruger. Timing is everything, man.
Peace, Shalom.
That's Mike.
Hey,
Yeah. There he is. There he is.
that's it.
Introduce yourself,
Oh,
brother.
I was just saying, I ain't even. I was having a conversation already in the background and shit. This original thought, know what I
Oh,
mean? Ruger the Lion on YouTube. Know what I mean? I'm just getting back into the swing of things. Know what I mean? So I'm just trying to, know what I mean, get in where I fit in, listen to a couple things. Know what I mean? See what information I could pick up or
yeah.
whatever. Know what I mean?
Hey, Ruger, what you think about that demonstration you seen yesterday, man? I seen you in the audience. What you think?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I only like I said, I seen the original debate that y'all had. Didn't see where the whole shit was biased to me, like, cause I didn't see where she explained the shit at. That's why I asked her in person. Know what I mean, the other day. Know what I mean, cause she break that shit down. Know what I mean, I feel that you wholeheartedly won that debate at the end of the day.
You know how I do, man. Hey, JJ. Hey, JJ went through hell and high water to win that debate, man. I was fighting,
It's just
fighting.
crazy that, know what I mean, when you got a certain type of platform, know what I mean, like what the brother got going on over there, know what I mean, it's very imperative that you, know what I mean, remain neutral and don't be trying to side with the people you got, know what I mean, on your roster, because, know what I mean, at the end of the day, it's edification for the people. Know what I mean, it ain't supposed to be about, know what I mean, our egos and know what I mean? Shit like that at the end of the day, my bad for cursing. Know what I mean? It's just crazy, know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think the whole debate circuit need to be reformed. Know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Right, right. I appreciate your
Right.
honest opinion, man, and what you saw. You know.
Yeah, you kicked ass, man. You did what you was supposed to do. It wasn't your fault that you was put into a situation where motherfuckers was already against you before you even opened your mouth. Know what I
Yeah.
mean? And motherfuckers already knew who they was going to support before they opened their mouth. Know what I
Right.
mean?
And you're not a Hebrew Israelite, right?
No, not at all, brother.
Okay,
You know
gotcha.
me, JJ.
Yeah, no, but I got to tell the listener because he just saying that because he an
Yeah,
Israelite.
no, I'm not biased to the situation, y'all. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. Know what I mean, I don't believe in the Bible in the same way other people believe in the Bible. I read the Bible, know what I mean, because I believe that, know what I mean, it is the Bible is trying to show us how to be, and they giving us stories to show us if you don't live your life in a righteous way. Know what I mean? The shit that could happen to you or not happen to you at the end of the day. Know what I mean? So my viewpoint of the Bible is very, very different from most people. Know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
At the end of the day. But I'm not a Hebrew Israelite, but I will never tell nobody to throw the Bible away. Know what I mean? I just tell people to try to gain a better understanding of what it is they taking in.
Now, let me ask you this before we get back to the scientists we got on the platform. Uh, do you feel that we come from apes? Could man call itself coming from monkeys? I mean, or would you be better fit to say maybe we're more like primates?
See, like with that, know what I mean? Like we got scientific terminology and then we got everyday terminology. Know what I mean? I
Okay.
hear people saying that we come from apes, know what I mean? But from my understanding of it, apes and humans come from the same ancestor. Would that ancestor be an ape? I would say not because I haven't. It doesn't read that way to me. I mean, at the end of the day, am I evolutionist? Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So you might get chime in with these guys because these guys gonna break down some deep science, some you know what I'm saying. And
Yeah,
I
y'all
see
see my boy Mudiwa up here. Know what I mean?
Well,
He usually be
peace to the
bringing
God.
the
Peace to the God.
science. Know what I mean?
Peace
Then
to
we got
peace
the
to the
head smusher. Know what I mean? He good at what he do. Know what I mean? When he bring his sciences. Know what I mean? So it should make for an interesting. Know what I mean? Stream today.
now the guy that they got that's kind of on the top of the conversations outside the cube. Now he came over here and said that humans are well. Now what did he say, John? He said we
He
monkeys or
said
something.
that you can call humans monkeys because there was a genotype or genogroup before that came before the great apes that would have been considered within the monkey the old monkey special type. And so because of that alone, he says that you can actually call humans monkeys or even great apes monkeys as well. And I beg to differ.
Let's
Yeah,
get
I
let's
don't, great apes and monkeys is not even classified in the same classification, right?
correct.
So at the
Correct.
Well,
end of
there's
the
two
day,
hands. That you got simians and you got prosimians. Prosimians on one side, prosimians
correct.
are what they call New World monkeys,
So at
right?
the end of the
So
day,
prosimians would be like, I'm saying, your smaller monkeys. But there is with the simians, amongst the simians, which are where the great apes. So you have the right hand and you have the left hand. On the left hand, you have prosimians, and on the right hand, you have simians. Simians have a lower species that looked a lot like monkeys, but they're
so
not really,
country.
they just like predating, like, say these are like primordial monkeys. You could call it like that. But then you have the great apes, you know what I'm saying? So that's your gorillas, your chimpanzees, your you know what I'm saying, your you know what I'm saying? So
humans.
so 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 what he's trying to say is that there was something called old world monkeys, which were the progenitors of simian great apes. And so because of that, you can call humans monkeys. I object. I object.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
And let Kasu introduce himself real quick. I don't. You got something to add to
Con,
this
con.
scientific build? Now, if you ain't got your science cap on, you're gonna have to go back into the reading
Yeah,
room or
yo, and you
something.
know what? Yo, yeah, Kansu, I want to copy that book, man. I was very intrigued by your last discussion, and I might have to I might have to reassert my position. You know what I'm saying? I like the way you kicked your knowledge, and this brings me back to when I really enjoyed Dr. York's teachings when he was, you know what I'm saying, the Ansar Rule Allah community. I told somebody the other day they wanted to debate me on Dr. York. I said I won't debate Dr. York on anything concerning the Ansar rule. I won't touch that. You know what I'm saying? Because I loved them in that time. And I'm definitely, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely a lover of York's teachings, you know what I'm saying? Especially his early teachings. So yeah, man. I want to copy that, my brother.
Unmute your mic, Kasu.
You on mute, bro. You on mute. You on mute.
You hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
I definitely appreciate that, my brother Zion, and I will actually give you a book at wholesale price, my brother. Now, if you want one,
All right.
you
All right.
inbox me, and I'll definitely hook you up. I definitely appreciate that. Peace, first and foremost, peace to the Lions Den in the building. JJ 7000, Sister Karima in the building. This is your boy, brother Kansu and Yame Ray. Yes, I'm still the real New Wapian. I'm still the real nigga Wapian. And JJ 7000, we're gonna do a show, brother Kansu, the real Kevin Samuelite.
Oh no.
I'm also a Kevin Samuel
Hey,
disciple.
let that man rest in peace. Let him rest in peace,
We're gonna
man.
carry on the legacy,
Yeah,
JJ.
man.
We're gonna carry on
Yeah,
the
but
legacy, brother.
okay, man. If you want to do that show, brother, I ain't got no problem with it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and I
If
got a
he's trying
few.
to uplift
Hey,
the brothers, man, hey, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
and I got a few sisters that I've been going back and forth with that we can bring on the panel that me and them can dialogue back and forth based on the Samuel's doctrine. But anyway, peace to the Lions Den, man. It's good to see my brother Mudiwa back.
What's
Good to
going
see
on, beloved?
everybody.
What's going on, beloved?
What's up, my brother Mudiwa, all the way in Cali?
Man,
Listen, I'm excited. This is scientific. I know my brother Mudiwa is a master scientist. Zion, this is gonna be good. I'm excited. I'm excited. I will be following. I will be taking notes. And I'm just here to enjoy the show, man. I'm luckily I got off early, so I got a free evening. So I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the show, man. And hey, let me say this: y'all can find me at Brother Konsu and Yame Ray on Facebook. You can find me at Konsu Amun Min Ray on YouTube, Brother Konsu on YouTube, and you can find me also at Lightning from the East, the official biography of Dr. York on Amazon.com. Once again, that's Lightning from the East, official biography of Dr. York on Amazon.com. Peace and love to the family. I'm excited for this one. Let's get it.
All right, now let's get it.
All right. So look, I'll say this, man. The brother Q, the brother Cube. I'm assuming since he's not here, I can't speak for him. I'm assuming that he might have misspoke and just he just was speaking a little bit out of turn. When you say that humans are monkeys, that's kind of fact. That's not kind of. That's factually incorrect. So when you hear people say, "I didn't come from no monkey," when you hear the believer community, when you say, "I didn't come from no monkey," you are 1 gazillion% correct. You did not come from a monkey, but at the same token, you are a primate as far as classification is concerned.
Con.
Almost this is what a lot of people don't like. This is what a lot of the believers in the community don't want to hear. No, you're not a monkey. No, you did not come from monkeys. The science and the global academic consensus is that approximately 6 million years ago there was a divergence between the primate that gave rise to chimpanzee and the primate that gave rise to anatomically correct humans. That doesn't mean that there was a chimpanzee that had sex with a chimpanzee and a
Right.
human was born. That's not what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That means that there was a divergence. There's two branches of a tree. One branch turns into chimpanzee. It did not start off as chimpanzee, but it eventually became chimpanzee. The other branch did not start off as Homo sapien sapien. It eventually became Homo sapien sapien. When we talk about the Lucy's, the Australopithecus, the the Homo afarensis, the Homo
Right.
neanderthalis, all of those, that branch, that's the divergence point. And a lot of our people, they don't really get that part. So yes, we're all in the order of primates, but no, human beings are not monkeys.
Con. Con. And I wanted to respond to something that Sean Tompkins he put evolutionist theologist, right? If you study the scripture, and I'm not here to argue, what I'm saying, objective truths over subjective interpretations. However, when you get to the Bible and you look at the family bloodlines going from Noah, you're talking about family trees. Once you understand that family trees has everything to do with evolution, then you'll understand why some of us who actually still subscribe to somewhat, of a theological basis, a biblical basis, can still see evolution within the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? We just got to finish arguing about Esau and Jacob, right? We just got to finish arguing about that. We argued about Japheth. We argued about all these families, right? So even getting a little bit further, getting back into evolution, right? So with these genotypes, there's something called special classification. Understand that when it says special means special. It means specific, right? So something that is has a special classification is specified by the classification that it's under, right? So you could say that all dogs are canines. However, you can't call a pug or a Shih Tzu a fucking wolf, even though wolves are canines, pugs are canines, pit bulls are canines. They're still within the same family. However, they are no longer wolves. They have their own family trees. their own genetic lines. And it's no different with any other species on the planet. Within insect species, with ants alone, my son will tell you that there's over a certain amount of thousands of different species of ant in itself. Would you say that this ant is not that ant because they're still ants at the end of the day? However, one is not the other, and possibly have a difficulty in breeding amongst each other.
I mean, yeah, I think
Same
you need
thing
to
with like
bring that point
cats,
out. I think you
right?
need to bring that point out a
Yeah,
little more, bro. When we talk about, like, a lot of people don't really understand what speciation means. What makes a living organism a different species from a different living organism? Do you want to explain that, or should
right.
I explain it?
You go ahead, brother. You take it. You take the
Oh,
reins on this one.
okay. When we're talking about what makes, because the brother just spoke about ants. Like, there's different types of ants. What makes a living organism a different species from another living organism? What that means is that these particular living organisms cannot breed and have viable offsprings. In other words, they can't have sex and have viable children that will create. That makes them a separate species. Now, and I know some of y'all gonna say, what about the tiger, the liger, the donkey, and all of that stuff? Put
Right,
that in the
right.
back
But they,
burner.
yeah,
We're not gonna talk about that right now because that's a whole nother
yeah.
rabbit
Hold
hole.
that.
Yeah,
Hold
Hold
not
that
it.
to even
thought.
cut
Hold
you
that
off,
thought.
Mudiwa, but I think that ant thing is a good starting ground to start off from. And you could
Right.
throw bees in on top of that because ants and bees
Oh
come
yeah.
from the same common
Ants
ancestor.
are in the hornet species. Ants are
Yeah,
related to
absolutely.
bees and
Right.
wasps.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
Right.
Did
why
y'all
I
know
put
that?
that up in there for him. Know what I mean? So,
Right.
because that's a great starting ground,
Right.
especially talking about what we talking about humans and apes. Know what I
Right.
mean? At the end of the
So
day.
So when we're talking about speciation, what separates a species? A species means that the two living organisms cannot have sex and recreate viable offspring. That's what separates species. And on that, I'm gonna kick it back over to my brother Zion.
Right. And not to get too deep into the liger and the tiger thing, but the two can mate, but they cannot have viable offspring. The offspring is not able to survive in certain areas that so even deeper than that, even with dogs. Y'all, some of y'all have raised dogs. Y'all know that if you mix a pit bull with this or with that, it changes their pedigree. Y'all know
Somebody
the
has a
term
lot of hold on,
pedigree?
Zion. Hold on, Zion. Somebody has a lot of open air on their line. I hear a lot of
I
open
think
air.
it might
Some
be yeah, it might be thought.
That
Yeah.
was me.
All
My
right.
bad.
all right.
Con. So with dogs, you know what I'm saying? We have all of these different variations of dog, right? Of canine species. We have many different variations of cat species, of feline, right?
Mm-hmm.
And within them you have, you know, smaller cats, larger cats, and all of these variations came from what they call the saber-toothed tiger, right? Which no longer exists. No longer
Mm-hmm.
exists. That species is is extinct. But
Mm-hmm.
you have all kinds of feline variations. You
Mm-hmm.
know, does that mean that a cat, your house cat, is a lion? Is your house cat a tiger? Is your house cat, you know what I'm saying? It could possibly have some bobcat, and it depends on the size of the cat. You could tell what cats have old world cat bloodlines in them, and which ones are more domesticated. You
Right.
know,
I
changes,
like
the variations.
I like that conversation when you were speaking about the dogs, because I just had this conversation a couple days ago. You know, all dogs, whatever, I don't care if it's a Great Dane or if it's one of those little bitty Pomeranians, those dogs can make viable offsprings, even though they look totally separate from each other. It's because they are the exact same species. Understand that.
Yeah.
A Great Dane, a little Pomeranian can jump up on something and hit a Great Dane female from the back and have viable offspring. It'll be hard, we know that, because of the size, but it can happen. We can create that. That can be done. Now, conversely, If you look at the African elephant compared to the Indian elephant, although they look like they're the same thing, they are a totally different species. The
Right.
African elephant and the Indian elephant cannot mate and have viable offspring. This is extremely important about classification. When we're talking about classification, guys, when we say what is the classification of the human taxonomic classification, uh, it is as such. It's kingdom kingdom. Wait a minute. Let me pull it up. Kingdom, phylum, order, kingdom, phylum, class, order, suborder, and we go into that. So the kingdom, we're all animals. The phylum is chordata. The class is mammalia. The order is primates. I'm gonna stop at the order. We're all in the order of
Right.
primates. Now, when you talk about, when we go further than that, when we talk about human beings, let me pull it up for you. Once we go from there, our species becomes, excuse me, our genus becomes genus Homo. When you see Homo sapien, Homo neanderthalis, Homo this, that, and the third,
Homo
that's our
habilis.
genus. Homo habilis,
Right.
Homo florenzius, whatever Homo it
Right.
is. That's our genus. Now you don't see monkeys, and monkeys is a loose term. Monkeys is a very, very loose term to classify a whole bunch of simians. There's no species that's called a monkey. You know what I mean? These are the monkeys. No,
Right.
no, 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 no. It doesn't exist that way.
Right. They're
So,
prosimians.
right.
Prosimians, and then yeah, those early simians that would have been more similar to modern New World's monkeys, they don't even exist anymore.
Right. But when you're talking about taxonomic classification, and I hope I'm going slow enough to where people can understand this. When you talk about taxonomic classification, everything has a kingdom. We're in the animal kingdom. Everything has like some things are not. Some things are classified in a different kingdom. We're in a certain phylum. We're in a certain class. We're in a certain order. And then from there, we go into genus, and then we go into subspecies and subspecies. That's why we say, if you ever heard people say, we are Homo sapiens sapien. Sapien sapien, when we say Homo sapiens sapien, we're referring to us as a subspecies. You won't refer to
Right.
Neanderthal as being such. So this is just and I'm giving it the most generic version of what I can bring to this. So when people say, "Hey, I didn't come from no monkeys," woo, I wiped the sweat off my forehead. Me either. We on the same page. You know what I'm saying? So when
Hey,
people say, "Go ahead, bro."
hey, Mudiwa, real quick, this Kansu.
Hmm.
Somebody asked in the chat. They said, well, two people are saying that nobody can prove something that happened millions of years ago. Could you explain
Right.
to the viewing audience how by how with I'm pretty sure it's something including fossil records, but could you explain to
Right.
the audience how you can verify stuff that happened millions of years ago?
Well,
Can I point something out real quick, Mudua? I
go
just
ahead,
want
family.
just really brief, just really briefly on this. There's something y'all can look this up, and they said that it was debunked. However, it's something that you really can't get beyond, and this is the development of the of a child inside of a womb. In all mammals, the beginning stages are really similar, right? Going from a single cell being split and then starting to form into a multicellular organism and then having a head, a tail, et cetera, et cetera. We see this, it's something called phylogeny recapitulates ontogeny. I think it's ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny,
Right,
right?
right,
And so you'll see inside the development of the womb an actual trace of evolution because you're seeing a single celled organism after the egg is fertilized go from a single cell to splitting into two, splitting into four, splitting into a multicellular organism, and then beginning to form into what almost looks like in the zygote stage, like You know what I'm saying? Uh, um, Take a look at ontogeny
Versus
recapitulates
philology. Yeah.
phylogeny.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Absolutely.
yeah. I know all about that. I've read that. But just to reiterate, brother Mudiwa, you got two viewers in the audience saying that nobody can prove what happened millions of years ago. Could you explain to them how you can prove that which happened a long time ago, brother? Please.
The mechanism that we use to prove the evolutionary narrative to be as correct as we assume it is the fossil record. We have
Fact.
skulls, we have body parts, we have these different things that said when you look at the skull morphology of a human being, the skull morphology of a gorilla is totally different than the skull morphology of a human being. When you look at the skull morphology of a human being and the skull morphology of a chimpanzee, it's totally different. But then we start seeing skulls that have a morphology that's slightly different than a human being. And they find it in certain areas of the strata. Strata, for those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about, when you dig in the earth, the different layers are called a strata. So when you dig so far in the strata, you find a skull. This skull is similar to modern Homo sapien skull. So you say, wait a minute, this must be the progenitor of modern Homo sapien. And then you dig a little bit further. Now, mind you, they're not finding these in order. These are just found. They're found all over the place. You know, they're found in Iraq. Some are even found in Israel. They're found in Africa. They're found in all over Europe. They're found in Asia. They're found in wherever the case may be. It's not like it's a in order type of thing. But what they do is they turn around and look at the skull morphology, and they say that these skull morphologies are not consistent with the traditional ape, the gorilla, the chimpanzee. This head is
Right.
way too big to be on a chimpanzee. Do you know what I mean? This jawline is way too small to be on a gorilla, but it's consistent with the human being. And so we have enough of this information to piece together and say, wait a minute, before Homo sapiens sapien, there had to be another hominid. What is that hominid? We call that hominid today Homo heidelbergensis. What was the hominid before Homo heidelbergensis? What was the hominid before that hominid? And we go in reverse chronological order and look at the skull morphology until we get back to something like a Lucy. And we say, well, okay, what was Lucy? Was Lucy in the genus Homo? No, Lucy was not in the genus Homo. Lucy was basically a monkey that can walk on 2 feet. That's yeah,
Australopithecus.
Australopithecus. Yeah, Lucy was basically a monkey that could walk on 2 feet. Lucy was not, and I'm to clear up the misconception, Lucy was not a black woman. So if anybody tell you Lucy was the first black woman and she lived 3 million years ago, that's not correct. Lucy was
Right.
not in the genus Homo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We
Right.
we clearing up some of these certain misconceptions, and to say that I'm glad we having these conversations, fam, because 10 years ago in the community, we couldn't even have these conversations. Like it was just like not talked about. And I want to give a shout out to the brothers that precede me with some of this information. The brothers from the Amin Ra squad, the brothers from Team Osiris, the brothers that was really giving us real live scientific information in a manner that was digestible to the black community. Brothers like Ngozi, because you got to remember, prior to these cats, these the cats that made it cool for us to have these conversations in public. We wasn't having these
Right.
conversations 10, 15 years ago. We was having conversations about
Mm-mm.
melanin theory and 666 carbon, neutrons, electrons, and protons, and all this old bullshit science. You know, the
Nine
conversations were
ether,
nine ether and
nine
all that
ether
old crap.
hairs. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We was having horrible conversations. We were having conversations about Yakub and the big head scientists creating white people in the Caucasus Mountains. We was having really ridiculous conversations in our community when it came to science. And some of these brothers open up the door for us to have real tangible scientific conversations. And you know, I'm just glad I met some of them cats and we can have these conversations. So I don't feel like I'm a weirdo talking about this shit that I went to school for. You feel what I'm saying? So I just wanted to drop that on y'all.
I think it'd probably be easier too, you know what I mean? Like if you broke down the scientific terms of what a monkey is, outside of what a
Well,
primate
wait
is.
a minute. Where's the contention at? Where are you guys contending at? That's what I
It's
want to
not.
know.
Oh
There
no,
ain't
there's
no
no contention.
contention.
Yeah,
We
no,
just
Oh,
opening
yeah.
okay,
up the
okay.
discussion.
It's a
Yeah, we
bill. It's a
building right
bill.
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
okay.
we're not
Yeah.
debating. Yeah,
Because a
we
lot of
we we
people,
on the same side.
yeah, like a lot of people like get
You can't be on
confused
the
with
same
the
side as
monkey.
Mudiwa. Mudiwa don't believe in the scriptures. Y'all believe in the
Yeah,
scriptures.
see that's the only
So you
place
can't
where
be on this.
where we diverge on
Y'all
this
trying to
topic.
create
But
conjecture, bro.
yeah,
Come on now, this the Lions Den
Y'all
now.
trying to create
This the
conjecture.
Lions Den now. Y'all want me to crank this shit up? I
No,
can.
but
Y'all
yeah,
know.
Muda Wad,
yeah,
though,
you
I
can
think
crank it
it'd be
up. Yeah.
good though if you could break down the difference in the terminology as far as science go, the difference between a monkey and a primate. Know what I mean? Because motherfuckers that see hairy shit running around, how it's depicted, know what I mean? And the first thing that come to mind automatically is monkey. Know what I
Right.
mean? At the end of the day, know what I mean? There is clear, distinct
There's
differences between
marsupials that
primates and
came even
monkeys.
before. Yeah,
But
there's marsupials came even
the
before.
the clearest demarcation between monkeys and other primates is small to medium size and having a tail. That's
Right.
the clearest demarcation line between a regular monkey and and other primates. So when we're talking about, it's kind of like, I don't use the term monkey. I try
Right,
not to
right.
because
Yeah,
it's
that's why I was
loose.
saying to
It's,
break it down because I know, man,
yeah,
you had conversations in the past, know what I mean,
right,
based on this. Know what I mean, at the end of the day, and we both came to the conclusion, know what I mean, that people get caught up in the words. And
right,
scientifically, words may not mean the same as in the same
right,
word in
right.
everyday use.
Absolutely,
Know
absolutely.
what I
I
mean?
understand what you're saying. I
Right.
understand what you're saying. When we're using the word monkey, we're using that shit so wild and loose, it's ridiculous.
Right,
Like,
right.
like monkey
It
is
more or less yeah,
go ahead, bro.
presently it more or less relates to prosimians, right? So prosimians are what they call new world quote unquote monkeys. These are new world primates. They're smaller, like the marmoset, and you know what I'm saying, smaller type, you know what I'm saying, monkeys that, you know, that those are considered prosimians. Great apes are simians, right? And so they're on a different hand of the primates special you know what I'm saying, special classification. So there's simians and there's prosimians. Prosimians are called New World monkeys. What we call monkeys today are prosimians, not simians.
Okay, so let me ask you this
Because
question, brother
yeah,
Zion. Let me ask you this question:
Con.
do you believe that we come from that we evolved from these Homo erectus, Homo genus Homo, and all this, or do
Yes,
you
yes,
believe that you believe that?
I do.
Okay,
And
let me ask you one more
loosely.
question.
Go
Hold
ahead,
on.
go ahead. I
Woo.
know you're gonna get biblical.
A
You're gonna get
win
Yeah,
for
biblical in
science.
exactly.
between.
A win for science. A win for
It
science.
is
There
a
we
win for
go.
science. That's
No,
right,
it
science,
is.
Mudawa.
I
It's
never
a win
left
for
That's a
science.
science.
That's right, because we
that's a
have a Bible believer who's actually admitting that he's going
right.
outside of the Bible to go for science on this
Right.
one. So that's good.
Well, I
Hey,
believe
that's
that
right.
I believe that the Bible does not necessarily object to this, okay? Because when you get into the days of creation, even though I know that this is symbolic and that God's days are not like man's days, right? So we're talking about ages as opposed to actual, you know what I'm saying, 365 days out of the year, right? So from a biblical perspective, if you look at it, the fish of the sea came, you know what I'm saying? And then the fowls of the air, and then the beasts of the field. But prior, what is the beast of the field? The beasts of the field are mammals. And then man was formed on the sixth day, on the same day as mammals. I
Okay.
don't think the
Okay.
Bible
I feel you.
necessarily
I feel you right
objects
there.
to evolution.
I feel you.
You see me?
Now let me ask you this then. That makes sense. Okay, so if you saying that we evolved from mammals, right? Is that what you're saying? Because the
We
mammals is
are
created as
mammals.
in the Bible, right?
Right.
We are mammals.
Con,
And we evolved from mammals.
We are not
Yes,
evolved
We
from.
are
We are.
mammals.
we
Okay.
Yeah,
are.
we
We
are.
we 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 are mammals. We are
Okay.
mammals. We are
So
still created on the 6th day as the beasts of the field. Yes, we're
okay.
mammals.
So if we are all mammals, all 100% mammal, then by how did we breathe while we was in our mother's womb? How did we breathe under the water in our mother's womb if we're a total percent 100%
Well,
mammal?
you see in the zygote stage, number one, that we had gills that then
So if we
formed
had
later
Yeah, the
gills,
on
that
oxygen
what
means
is
we
that
being
call.
passed
somewhere
to the
that
baby through
means
the
that
umbilical
somewhere
cord.
during
Well,
that
we get, but
evolutionary
see, the
stage.
truth of the matter is that
Hold on,
we
hold
in the
on, hold
zygote
on.
did.
That,
Okay,
that
go ahead.
means
There's
that if we
oxygen
had
being
gills,
passed to the
if
baby
we
through
had
the
gills,
umbilical
Yes,
cord.
hold
I
on,
was
hold
going to
on,
get
hold
into
on,
that
hold on,
thought. I was going to get into that thought.
hold on.
There's no necessity for the gills, but the gills are once again what I said before. Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny.
And
So
that
Right.
you
and
see that.
that very ontogeny recapitulates phylology proves that there was also a reptilian phase, if you would say, or more,
Yes,
or
we
I
have
like to
a
say
stem of our
personally,
brain.
I like to say
We have a
amphibian. I like to say
yes.
we're really amphibian, because we come from the water,
We can't go back though.
from
I
our
don't.
mother's
I
womb.
have no arguments with that. None.
Right. So I mean, it's
I
just
will not argue
it's
that.
an open, it's a open,
It's a fact.
it's a another thing too. I
But we
just
have
want to say, I
mammals
want
that
to
are
say,
in the water too. We have mammals that live in the water.
yeah, but they can only stay under for certain long, like hippopotamus and stuff. They can't stay under that long.
Whales are
Whales
mammals.
and shit.
Yeah,
Whales are
they
mammals.
can't
All
breathe.
whales
They
are
can just
mammals.
stay under there for a long time. But hold
Yeah,
on,
Yes,
let me say
they can
absolutely.
hold their breath.
let me say this real quick. Here's what's important too to understand about when you talk about science versus religion, because that's really what it's getting down to. All right,
No, why gotta be like that though? Why does it
hold
have
on,
to be
brother. Hold on,
science
brother. I
versus
just want to make
religion?
a comment, brother. I just want to make a comment
Go
real
ahead.
quick.
Go ahead.
Is a thin line between the science versus religion thing, because that's what it's really boiling down to. Religious people
Yeah.
try to find as many ways to validate their religious books via science. So they'll go in there and do what Zion did and say, well, the fish from the sea represents this stage, and then this represents that stage. And you can say that all day. And the scientific, but here's the thing though, that don't mean that science is all right, because the majority portion of science is theory and not scientific fact. Most scientists that are honest, hold
Ah,
on, hold on, hold on. Most scientists that are honest, and most of them are honest. When you look at the scholastic debates, like from Harvard and all these universities, they'll tell you, they don't get up there and say, I know this for 100% fact and I can prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. They'll say, by the evidence that I've been by the evidence that I've gathered, I've come to this conclusion that based on the evidence that I have presented today, is a strong possibility that such and such and such and such.
okay.
Some of
Okay.
it's theory,
Okay.
but a
Let
lot
me
of it, because it's
let me let me
hold on, because it's constantly changing. Remember, at one point in time in science, they taught us that the hydrogen atom was the smallest particle of existence, and that there was nothing else smaller than the hydrogen atom. What happened?
Right.
Boom! They
but
cracked
but
the
he-
hydrogen atom, and then they
but
said,
here but
"Shit!
here's the
Now you got
here's the
quarks, Sealy's, biaps, subatomic particles." So
right.
String
that's what I'm saying. So
theory.
you can't just say just because
Right.
it's science, it's
Hold on,
all
bro.
100% fact.
Nobody ever said what you just said, Kansu. No one has
I know.
ever
I'm
the,
just
the,
throwing that out there.
right. No one has ever made that assertion. Science is intelligent enough to leave room for margin of error.
Yes.
That's what
Right.
science does. Science does not speak in absolutes. If you go take a
Right.
paternity test, if you
Exactly.
if you, science is intelligent enough to not speak in absolutes.
Yes.
Religion, on the
Yes.
other hand, speaks in absolutes,
That's
and
right.
that's
Not
what I'm.
always.
That's right.
Not
Let,
always. Not
That's right.
always.
listen,
I agree with that,
Not
Mudiwa.
always.
listen to what I'm
Not
Well,
saying,
always.
some
family.
do, because they'll tell you if you
Li-
don't believe, you're going to hell.
A
So,
lot
right.
do. A
But
lot
no, I'm
do.
not
pretty
It's
accurate.
saying
not
no,
true.
no, 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 no. I'm not saying the individuals. I'm saying the doctrine. The doctrine speaks in absolutes,
That's
family.
true. That's true.
The doctrine doesn't speak in margin of error. The biblical narrative, or the Quranic narrative, or the Torah narrative, or any other creation narrative that's put out there, speaks in absolutes, and that's what gives a
That's
lot of
true.
people the problem why they can't really associate themselves with science, because they're used to hearing something
Right.
being
Right.
spoken absolutely, and
Yeah,
science
rhetoric.
won't say that.
Yes, that's
That
right.
science is going to say, "Hey, man, we might be wrong as a motherfucker about this, but we're smart enough to say we might be wrong as a motherfucker about this."
That's right. But
What's
and another thing, Mudiwa, another thing that in the scientific community, you hear terms like um, evidence strongly suggests such and
exactly,
such, such and such. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying? They
Right.
won't
exactly,
say
Right.
they won't say it
Right.
like religious people, but they'll say, "Look, man, we've been studying this and we got a ton of information, and
Preponderance of
we'll
evidence.
present it
right.
against
Right.
your information, and we feel that ours will outweigh yours, and that's how it is in the real
Right.
world." And you know what I'm
And
saying?
Correct.
that's
That's
the huge difference. It's like when you're talking about when we're talking about evolution and man being related to other primate forms, the evidence is beyond reasonable doubt. To put it in legal
Right.
terms, the evidence is like
right.
is demonstrable, it's observable, and when we
It's
say
not
observable, we're talking
demonstrable.
about the fossil
Excuse
record.
me, but it's
it,
not.
it's the
Hold on. Let them finish. Go ahead, Mudiwa.
but
Yeah. Let him
evolution
finish. You got it, Ghana. After
yeah,
he's done, you can go ahead.
evolution simply means change over time. That's all evolution means,
Right.
and that's simply what it means. We have evidence of macro evolution, and we also have evidence of micro evolution. There really is no gray area with this. The only reason why science it ain't saying, "Hey, this is a fact," is because that's not what science does. That would
Right.
be going
Right.
outside of the nature of science. You know what I mean? Like that's not what they do. On the other hand, like I said, religion says this is the truth. You better believe this or
Yes.
nothing else. That's
Exactly.
the you're comparing something that has, and I'm not knocking nobody, man. I'm not knocking nobody. And
Right.
I say this, let me say this. When we're having these conversations, you can't put a religious text up against science, and you can't put science
I
up
wouldn't.
against a
I would never
spiritual
do that.
text. Right.
Right.
So
Listen.
let spirit let me finish.
Yeah.
Let spirituality
Go ahead.
be spirituality. Don't try to blur the line and come
Mm.
over into the realm of science with spirituality, because spirituality
Um,
ain't trying to blur the line and go over into the realm of science. You know what I mean?
They
Let
don't care.
science be science, and
Yeah.
let
I
spirituality
have
be
to object. I have
spirituality.
to object.
Well,
I
hold
have to
on.
object.
Hold
So
on,
watch this.
Brother Zion.
Go
Please,
ahead. Go ahead, Consul.
please
Go
don't
ahead,
say.
Mr.
Wait. Let kind of
Yeah.
speak
Yeah. The brother Ghana Stepper
because
wanted to
he had
speak
a,
too, right?
he disagreed with that, and then
Come.
we want to hear from him on
Shalom.
a
Thank you,
religious
Kareem.
point of view
Shalom to the
since
sister
you
Yeah.
Kareem.
Go ahead,
Shalom.
make
Mike.
What's
a
up, Zion? Shalom,
Yeah.
everybody.
comparison.
Salaki.
Yeah, so we want to hear from a person on a biblical point of view too, since you make a comparison and you kind of throwing shots a little bit. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. All praise to the Most High in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. Uh, yeah, I would disagree with what the brother was saying as far as science concerned, because science, see, what a lot of people get confused is the religion of science versus true science. True science is the science behind mending a broken leg or getting sepsis. If a person becomes septic, there is a science that you can demonstrate over and over again to show that you can remove the septic blood. Uh, Water is two hydrogen atoms, one oxygen. Uh, so that's something that's a fact that'll never change. But it gets to a slippery slope, and people try to introduce science based on those facts that I just mentioned, and they try to slide in their theories and their hypotheses, which what the brother was talking about. That's the religion of science. Spirit, and I agree with him when you said you really can't take a page out of the scripture and put it next to science. That's like apple and oranges. The Most High, he did not, delve off with the prophets and the scriptures speaking on scientific things. So I agree with him with that, but I disagree with the brother when he's saying that science doesn't change. Nah, true science, it stays the same. Like the things that you're talking about, that's a religion, so it'll always change. The only religion that doesn't change is the scriptures, but all other religions, they change.
I gotta kind of feel some
Pastor.
type of way about that as far as science go, because like science ain't absolute, like none ain't absolute. Our science is based on what we know today, but what we know today could change tomorrow at the end of the day. So
Right.
So
there's no
Exactly.
H2O,
absolute
would you say
science.
H2O? That's a fact about behind the elements that make water. Would you say that's a fact?
Yeah.
So that's science. Those are true facts. But
So
when you
science
get
is observing your surroundings. Now, I mean, then you got different categorizations in
no
science of
science,
what you observing at the end of
Right.
the day.
Stop.
okay,
Hear what
so
he's saying, because you kind of agreeing with him a little bit. Just hear exactly what he's saying.
All right, go ahead.
yeah, so uh again, true science is something you can demonstrate over and over again and show the same results. But when you go to talking about evolution and Homo sapiens sapien, that's scientific religion. Because like you say, it can change. That's what they believe. It's not rooted in facts. But that's science. That's what I call scientific religion. But true science,
Oh,
like
that's what you call. Okay.
how to mend fractures
Yeah,
or
because that's he said he that's what he called it at the end of the day. Science is science, regardless to if we prove
There's
this
many
without a
different
shadow of
facets
a
of
doubt
science.
today. Now, I mean, there's some things that we don't have all the equations to. So, would it stand that today? It might not be the same tomorrow, but you can't take that away from being actual science or true science, how you say.
well,
And
no,
and
it's in the
I just
realm
want to
of
say, I just
science.
want to say this. I just want to
Yeah,
say
go.
this, bro. There's never been anything in science that science has said to be a theory or taught in the academic community that we scrapped and threw it away and said, "Oh my goodness, the Bible was right." That never happened, bro. That's never happened. It's never going to happen. And I'm not using that. I'm not saying that as a shot. I'm saying the narrative that you believe that, and this is not a shot at all, bro. The narrative that you adhere to has absolutely no evidence to support it. So you can throw away everything we know about evolution right now. You can say, fuck that. I don't care about none of that stuff. All that stuff is fake. They're playing games with us. It ain't the truth. Guess what? It still does not make the biblical narrative of evolution or creation the truth. There is no demonstrable evidence to support that. And that's just one point I want to make,
Right,
because you
right,
also made a point. You also made a point about something being observable. And you said it's a, if you can't observe it, it's scientific religion. How is a, and this isn't rhetorical, this is literal.
Well, I said if you can't
How is a,
demonstrate it,
okay, if you can't demonstrate it, how is a valley made, sir? A
how was the
valley.
valley made?
Yes, how is a valley made?
I mean, this is just pushing away of what the Earth's mantle, right?
No, a valley means that at one point there was water flowing through there. The water is no longer there. Water that me and you never saw. Water that me and you never saw. Water that the geologists and the people that study that shit, they never saw it. But they knew that to create this valley, at one time, water flowed through it. But nobody says, oh, them niggas lying about valleys. See,
right, right,
you accept the geographers when they say this is how a valley is made, but you don't accept the geneticists when you say this is how human beings is made. Why do
say
you
that shit
do that?
again.
You
Right.
Say that.
accept you accept what the geologists are saying, and when they say this is how a valley is made, but you don't accept what the geneticists are saying when they say this is how a human being is made, because you are predisposed to believe your doctrine, family.
Right.
You're averse to science and don't even realize it. And I land
Hey,
the
hey,
plane with
hey,
that.
Hey, Sister Karima, I want to say something real quick. Can I speak real quick? Hey, all right. So this is good. Now I have a question. I want to share my screen real quick. I'm gonna put something up, right? And I want the brother Mudiwa and Ghana Stepper to both assess this because this is good. Because Mudiwa hit on the key point and Ghana Stepper hit on the key point. But I'm gonna share my screen real quick and I'm gonna show something, and I want both of them to speak on it and to give their portion of understanding on it, right? Because it's tying in right into everything, right? So let me share my screen. All right, here we go. Now here's the key, and this is just one example. This is from Isaiah 13:10. It says, "For the stars of the heavens and their constellations will not give their light. The sun will be dark at its rising, and the moon will not shed its light." Isaiah 13:10. Now, and then it also says on the next one, Isaiah 30:26. "Moreover, the light of the moon will be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun will be sevenfold as the light of 7 days, in the day when the Lord binds up the brokenness of his people and heals the wounds inflicted by his blow." Now, according to science, the moon doesn't have any light. So I want both of you brothers to explain this to me, please. Talk to me.
That's an eclipse.
Somebody can go first. Whoever want to go first. But what's going on? Is the Bible right or is science right?
That's an eclipse. That's an eclipse. I said what I said, and this is Zion, and I'm gonna shut up.
Right. I mean, you answered the question. You answered the question at the end of your statement, brother Kansu. The moon does not generate its own light. Any moonlight you see is a reflection of the sun. And when you don't see the moonlight, it's because the alignment of the planets is you can't see the light, the sun shining off the moon.
Isaiah might have been tripping then when he was writing that.
He didn't know what the hell he was talking about.
An eclipse. He was seeing an eclipse that marked the time period. He was seeing an eclipse that marked the time period. A lot of the visions and stuff that you see during the scriptures are astrological. This is why it's called the drama of the heavens.
Brother Ghana Stepper, what you got to say about that, brother? Isaiah 30 and 13. Talk to me.
Good one.
Does the moon have light?
Good one, Kansu.
Thank you.
What I would say is this, that quote unquote science tells us that the moon gets its light from the sun and it waxes and it regenerates itself. The Bible says otherwise. I would have to look at that scripture, but both things are taken in faith. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's not.
Can you read that scripture again, please? Kansu, can you read that scripture one more again, please, brother?
Which one? 32. Okay, it says, "Moreover, the light of the moon will be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun will be sevenfold as the light of 7 days, in the day when the Lord binds up the brokenness of his people and heals the wounds inflicted by his blow." That's Isaiah 30:26. And Isaiah 13:10 is, "For the stars of the heavens and their constellations will not give their light. The sun will be dark at its rising, and the moon will not shed its light." Then, of course, you got Genesis where it says a greater light and the lesser light. So you got 3 quotes saying that the moon is a light in the Bible. So what's going on?
But it sounds like you speaking apocalyptic scriptures though.
Well, it's Genesis and 2 in Isaiah, 1 in Genesis. Genesis 1:14 through 16. It says, "And God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night." Lights, plural. "And let them be signs for seasons and days and years, and let them be lights," plural, "in the expanse of the heavens to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made the 2 great lights, plural, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. Now, I can even throw in that really stars are really suns.
Right. But we ain't even gonna go there. That's a whole different conversation.
They're far away. You know,
can I say this before you answer, bro? Don't don't try to justify it biblically. The best thing at this point,
Who
the best
can?
thing to say,
I can. Why can't
hold
I?
on, bro, hold on, bro. The best thing to say is the people that wrote the narrative were not astronomers. They didn't know what they were
I will
talking
say that.
about, bro.
I
Yeah,
will
that's
And
what
it
definitely
people
and
say
got to
and
that.
understand. It was
yeah,
based off of the
I
information
will.
and knowledge that they
right.
knew
They
at the
had
time when
right
they wrote it.
then.
But,
And
but let me
what
say
I'm saying,
this.
can I finish? Let me say this, bro. Please let me
But,
finish. Let me
but brother,
finish.
you're false.
Let- let-
They come
can I
from a
finish though?
line
Can I
of
finish though,
astrologers.
bro? Can I
I'm just
finish though,
saying, you
bro?
saying
May
they're
I
not
finish though,
astrologers,
bro?
but they
No,
were.
I didn't say
Yeah, but you
astrologists.
got to
I
look at
said
the time that it
astronomers.
was the
May I
time that it was
finish though,
wrote.
bro?
Hey,
May I
Go
Let
ahead,
him
finish
finish.
though?
Mudiwa.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
yeah, this is show, y'all. This is him and Zion show.
Right. I'm saying that
Masha, man.
sometimes you got to concede and say, hey man, the people that wrote that really didn't have a full comprehension of how these things work. They didn't
I
get
will
it right.
always say that.
And
I always.
there's nothing wrong with saying that. This is the point.
That's
This the
right.
whole
It's
point of
okay.
me. This the whole point of me being on this show tonight. It's like the people that believe in the Bible, you have to get to a point to say, hey man, these people got a whole lot of stuff wrong. That doesn't stop you from loving your God. That doesn't stop you from believing in your God. But you also have to say to yourself, the things that these people wrote were written by man that did not have full comprehension of his natural
Understand.
environment.
Boom.
Can
Boom.
I support you on this, brother? From
Go
as a
ahead.
thumper,
Go ahead, bro.
I totally support that. I even say that when John on the island of Patmos made a prophecy of an end time prophecy where locusts would fly and spit a brimstone from their mouths and fire would proceedeth from their tails, you know what I'm saying, making war upon the earth. One thing that they did not understand back then when they were seeing future prophecies, and we know that our elders could do it, like, we're not going to act like our elders could not see things in the future. Maybe they didn't understand what they were seeing. But what was hidden from the wise and the prudent, it was revealed to the babe and the suckling. We would, the scriptures even say that this would be the time where we would be coming into all knowledge of even the things that our elders did not fully understand in their time. This is not anti-biblical, because the Bible does say that the scriptures were inspired. Man's hand inspired. The only thing that was written by the hand of God was the stone tablets, according to the scriptures, and Moses threw those against the earth.
And it
And
was only the first two commandments.
okay, okay. So we know that nothing was written by God's hand. We know that it was written by man's hand, and we are supposed to study to show ourselves approved so that
That's
we
not what the
might
Bible says.
rightfully divide the word, just like some of our elders, master teachers have done. Hello, Brother Consul?
The Bible says that it was written by the hand of the Most
And
Where does it say that?
Yeah,
I don't
no, it
think
wasn't
they
written by the Most High. It was inspired by the Most High. And the
So it wasn't the
right.
Most High. It
I mean,
wasn't
613.
the
that's
Most High.
arguable, I
So it
suppose,
was. So it
unless
wasn't
you
the
could show
Most
something
High
else.
who engraved the Ten Commandments according to the Bible.
But he only did two. The 611 are Levitical, or the laws
613,
made by
whatever
the
it says.
priests,
It
and the
says by
two
the
laws,
hand
the
of
two
God.
that the
That's
two
why
of the
in
Ten
the Jewish
Commandments.
community they use that God, which is the hand, to touch the Torah and the Tanakh. They don't touch it with their own hands.
The
So,
hand
like
of
I said,
God
it
can
says
mean
it was
an
written by God.
emissary. An emissary could
That's
be a
y'all's
hand of God.
interpretation. That's the problem.
No, well, maybe it's mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, I'm not going to argue objective truths over, like I said, uh, 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 interpretation. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us are going to have different interpretations of scripture. You know what I mean? This is what happens. You know, it's subjective.
That's
You
part of the
know, it's
problem, though.
based upon
Right.
Therein lies the problem.
Yeah,
Therein
that's the
lies the
problem.
problem.
Watch this. Watch this, Mudawa. Here's the same thing that happens though, even with hypothesis, because a theory really is based more upon fact than it is not. Whereas an hypothesis is a like a thesis question. You know what I'm saying? Whether
Okay.
this can be or cannot be. Is it or is it
Okay.
not?
Mudiwa, will you explain to him the difference between a hypothesis and a theory, please,
I
my
would
brother?
just let him cook. I
Come
was
on,
just
D.
gonna let him cook.
I'm a
Let him
college
cook.
student.
Let him
Mudiwa didn't
cook.
even graduate college, man. I got a degree. I'm working on my next degree. Come on, don't do that to me, man.
Go ahead, bro. Go on
I'm
and
a
cook.
scholar. I'm a scholar.
Hey,
I love both of y'all brothers, man. I respect both of
all I
y'all
just heard
scholars.
right
At the
now,
end of the day,
all I
you
just
know,
heard right now was Kevin Samuel saying, "I am a PhD. I'm a PhD."
Y'all niggas funny as hell.
With him.
shut up.
But
So
go
anyway,
ahead, fam.
so at the end of the day, listen. We can make a hypothesis based upon. Because one
Hey,
thing we're
Ghana
not going to
Stepper
do, we're
got the
not going
fuck
to
up
change
out of
nobody
here.
else's
Ghana Stepper
beliefs.
couldn't take the heat in the dens.
Yeah, they can't
Well,
take
go
this,
ahead.
bro.
Who left? Who left? You said the stepper. Anyway, moving forward. You know what I'm saying? There are many ways of interpreting scripture. There's many ways of interpreting, you know what I'm saying,
Don't do
theological
that.
or even
Don't say that. Don't
ideals
say that.
of astrology, physics,
But
quantum
that's
That's
the
not
physics
problem,
that's
is
though.
not
We need to
true.
be
highly,
trying to figure out
highly speculative.
we need to find out the meaning of what it was written for, and not people taking it into their own brain and try to make it what they wanted to be. It was written with a
Well, here's the
specific
interesting thing.
premise.
Let me say this. It's very interesting that people will say that, oh, you're gonna make us monkeys and we came from apes and all of that stuff, but then they'll say that they were formed from dirt.
Right, right.
Very good point.
So what is better? Because all living things came from the dust of the earth. God damn it. The microorganisms,
Right.
But I don't think that's the point
single
where they.
cell organisms.
I don't think that's the point where the contention is. Like that's the point where the scientific community and the Abrahamic community agree. Like we all agree that we started from nothingness, essentially. Like that's the point that we agree on. If they didn't get nothing else correct, if the Bible didn't get nothing else correct, they got that part correct. We come from nothingness, but what they didn't get correct is the from nothingness to Homo sapien sapien. That's the part where they fucked up.
Yeah, I don't even see, because
That's
I
a big
don't.
gap.
There was never a time when it was nothing. We
Nah,
Right.
came
man,
from
stop banging on my
something.
Bible, bro. Stop banging on my Bible, bro.
I'm not trying to bang on it, bro. I'm just saying that I mean, like that was a good try though. That was a good, that's good
Yo, do
for
you know the term Gentile means beast, and that means beast man? And even before Adam was charged with the duty of replenishing the earth, he was considered the first man. So therefore, he was considered the first Homo sapien sapien. If you look at how they use special classification of what they consider man and what they consider not man, you know what I'm saying? But proto genesis of Homo sapien sapien, present day uh, uh, Homo sapien, Homo hapless, Homo africanus, Homo Denisovan, Homo Neanderthal, Homo going back even to Australopithecus. They don't consider them mankind.
yes they
They
do, bro.
only
Hold
consider
on.
Homo
Stop.
sapien
Not
mankind.
true, bro.
Yeah, that's not true, brother. That is
The
not
fact that
true.
they're
Are
the
you?
fact that they're in
Come
the
on
fact
with it.
that they're in the fact that they're in the
The
genus
homo.
Homo.
Yeah,
The
they
fact that
homo.
they're in the genus Homo means that they're
That's
in the
not.
hominid family, bro.
Right, right,
Yes,
This
they're
is
in the
not
absolutely.
hominid
debatable. This
family,
That's
is
but they're
right.
not
not
That's
debatable,
right.
mankind. Like for
That's
instance,
bro.
right.
Bro,
the
They were
listen to me.
children of the
considered
land of Nod were
hominid
never
or
named.
humanoid in some humanoid,
Right,
The
hominid
right.
in
children of
some
the
form.
land of Nod were never named, and even some say that the serpent in the garden was actually a genus of a whole different hominid that lived at that time. that
No,
wasn't
bro.
really a
Don't do
serpent
this.
or a
Don't do
snake.
this. Don't do this, bro.
If you
Please
want to
don't
get
do this.
into
Don't do this. Don't do this.
the metaphysics
don't
of the
don't do this,
scripture, we
bro.
can do that.
Don't do this, bro.
Let's
Don't
do
do
it.
this,
Let's
bro.
do it.
Let's just
Let's
be
have some
There you
fun.
go.
let's be
There you go.
intellectually honest. Let's be intellectually honest. The people
I am.
that wrote the biblical narrative had no idea about what we know about human evolution
And that's
today.
what makes
None.
their close comparisons, the comparisons that actually can be substantiated by science, more interesting because they did not know, and however they got some shit right.
But they
Hey, shout
didn't
out.
know,
Hey,
bro.
hey, shout out. It's
Shout
been
out.
a
My
long
ancestors
time
weren't
Lions
no
Den
dum
fan.
dums.
Shout out to Brother Lavelle.
Bro, Lavelle in the building.
Bro, Lavelle, what's going on?
Why can't we just say, hey man, the people that wrote the biblical narrative, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Why can't we just
I
say
hear
the
you, bro.
people that wrote the biblical narrative had some dope ass moral ideology. They had some dope ass way to live ideology. How
You
they
would
came
never say
about
that.
living. But why can't we just give them that? I'll concede that. I'll concede that I shouldn't fuck your wife. I'll concede that I shouldn't kill somebody. I'll
But those
concede
laws,
that I shouldn't steal your shit. I'll
yeah,
concede to
absolutely.
that.
But those
Right.
laws are the laws of the land, Mudiwa. You can
I
find those.
understand.
You can find those in every
But
religion.
just for the sake of argument, I'll concede that to the Abrahamic faith believers. I'll
Yeah,
give them that and say that shit's dope. Y'all got that right. I'll concede that. But
right, absolutely.
when it comes to science, don't come over in the ring with science and try to bring your book with you. It's not gonna work. It don't
Now,
work,
see, now
bro.
that will be
No, it's not
subjective based
arguing
on the
science over
perspective, or
right.
based off of the
It's
perspective of what knowledge do that person have. Know what I mean? A
right.
lot of people can't make
I'm not
comparisons because they don't have the
right.
knowledge to be able to make those comparisons.
Let me just say this. I'm not arguing the Bible over science as if the Bible said something before
Do y'all
that
see this
was
crazy question?
scientifically
This man
correct.
said, "What does Homo sapien mean?" Google it. Google it.
Wise
Right.
man.
Come on,
Shit.
bro. The information age, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But
Man, that's
what I'm
sad. That's
saying is
sad
that
right there. That's sad.
I'm saying
Jump
that
on that panel,
there's a
Q.
lot. Yeah. Outside the
Hit
cube,
him
you
in.
need to get in this because we started off with this discussion. This was about you gotta bring your ass up in here outside the cube. Bring your ass up here, man. Somebody put the link in there so he could get that.
Yeah,
So
this
so
conversation
what I'm
began
saying
about
is
you,
that
Cube. This
the scriptures don't necessarily see there's a lot of groups that say that the scriptures argue against it, and I say that so just like the flat earthers. Oh my goodness. You know, and some of y'all are flat earthers, you know what I'm saying? I love y'all to death, y'all my brothers and sisters, but the Bible does not support it either. Because the word chug or hug in the Hebrew is a sphere with a circumference, a radius, right? The same thing with the word in the Roman, in the Greek. The Greek is globos. So your Bible doesn't support a flat earth at all.
Right.
Some will say, well, there was the firmament and this, that, and that doesn't mean nothing. For the price of a can of beans, I'll show you the firmament in science with
Hey,
the space-time continuum.
the brother also asked the brother Yasaf. I think he had a question to Mudawa earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Listen to this crazy mess, Mudawa. He said, if the sun, first of all, he's got it all wrong. He said, if the sun reflects the moon, hence lesser light, and the sun is not giving light, how can the moon have light? Brother,
the sun
that
ain't
question in and of
reflecting the
itself
moon. The moon is
is loaded.
reflecting the
Yeah,
sun.
exactly. That's not what it
Let's
said.
not
It said
let's not tease the brother.
it said
Yeah,
that
let's not
it
tease
said
him.
that the moon has light in three or more places. The fact of the matter is, the moon is a non-luminous body.
Facts.
You follow, and it gets its light reflected from the sun. It doesn't give any. It's a dead. It's what's called a dead, non-luminous body that revolves around planet Earth, used to cool the planet down. People, you got people in Kemetic science and African spirituality, like Kemetic science, right? And Nuwapians too, right? They'll think that the moon got Khonsu. That's my name. Khonsu is a moon deity.
I was about to say, if anybody should know about the moon, you better know about the goddamn moon.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Mostly if you're Israelite, because the Sabbath is accorded by the lunar phases.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. You got a lot of pseudo-Kemetics and pseudo-Nuwapians too that will say the moon is evil. Anything associated with the moon is evil. But here's the thing: if you didn't have the moon, the planet would overheat.
Right.
And freaking burn. You need the moon just as much as you need the sun. However, the moon is a dead, non-luminous body. It doesn't have a light.
Right, correct.
I mean, I don't understand. Yeah. I just don't get it.
But that speaks to the scientific literacy of our community, though, bro.
That's right.
And it's not no diss. It ain't no knock. Right. It just, our community is not a very scientifically literate community. Facts. Not saying that other communities are.
Oh, but you gotta remember our communities were highly deprived. There he is. Highly deprived of the same financial backing behind our educational systems in our communities.
I can in the building. Brother Cube is in the building. Peace, Brother Cube.
Cube.
Yeah.
Ready to get your head smushed?
Cube.
Hold on, Cube. Science shit when niggas is basically talking about religion, because there's actually science in Kemet that doesn't have anything to do with motherfucking religion. At the end of the day. I wish motherfuckers stop saying Kemetic science when that's not what you mean.
Theology,
Kemetic religion.
Anything that has a theology behind it is a science. Philosophy is a science. Sociology is a science. Psychology is a science. All of these things are factors which are sciences.
It is, but you got people that
quantum physics, whether you deal with earth science, you know what I'm saying? Human physiology.
Hold on. Just slow down. Quick question.
The matter is theology question, bro. Is a science as well.
Quick question. Hold on. Demonstrate what you just said. You said theology is a science. We don't need you to just tell me. I don't need you to just tell me what you said. I need you to demonstrate that. How is theology a science?
Okay, so watch this. When there were watch this. In human civilization, during the time period where there were smaller groups of people, watch this. Wait, hold on. I'm going to anthropology.
Human history.
Hold on. I'm answering your question, and I can prove it by a dude named Robert Sapolsky of Stanford University. Hello?
I'm still listening.
No, I mean, I agree with you, based off of what I said science was. Science is the observation of something. No, I mean,
observation.
Hey, you brother, let Cube introduce himself.
Oh yeah, let Cube get up in here.
My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
Go ahead, Cube. Tell everybody they can find you, introduce yourself. Then you can get in where you finish.
Hey, JJ, I put something in your inbox too, bro.
My Facebook is deactivated.
For real?
Yeah. So I'll give you my personal number though.
Yeah. All right, Joe.
Yeah, I didn't want to break the bill. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, my name is Outside the Cube. I go by Cube, and I'm an atheist. I don't believe in no God or anything like that. And I have sometimes about the existence of God. And if you want to find me or contact me, you'll see it scrolling on your screen. On YouTube, it's Outside the Cube. If you want to email me, it's outsideyourcube@gmail.com. And on IG, you'll find me at OTCube. But go ahead.
Right. Cube. Let me say this, Cube. The reason why I got on this call, I ain't gonna say no names, but a certain individual that has some initials associated with his name. Hold on. Let me get it. Hold on. A certain individual with initials as his name
Zion
contacted me.
Wartown. I
Hold
said what I
on,
said.
bro. God damn, bro. Can I finish? Can I get this lead up so we can get this bill going?
Let's go.
Certain
Let's go. Let's
individual,
go.
a certain individual hit me and said that the brother Cube said that humans were monkeys,
That be me.
and and they contacted me to get a little more clarity, and I said I don't really want to speak for the brother because it might, y'all, sometimes y'all have a tendency to take shit out of context. I would like to hear his comment from his mouth. Now, I don't know what the gist of the conversation was, but my question to you is this, brother Cube: do you in fact think that Homo sapiens sapiens are monkeys are a form of monkey? And can you define what monkey means to you?
Tell them what it said. Tell them what you said.
Yeah, the answer to that question is yes, without a shadow of a doubt. And I actually did a presentation on side of the TV, explaining and showing you guys emphatically exactly how this is and took place. But yes, the answer is yes.
Oh, I'm Q. You my dog. I need you to walk me through this. How did you get to this conclusion that? Because I'm not gonna tell you the information that I think or know or study. How did you come to the conclusion that human beings are monkeys?
Oh yeah, it's really simple. So in evolution, would you agree that you cannot escape your phylogeny?
That's true. That's a given.
Okay, perfect. So if you can't escape your phylogeny, that means that whatever your father was, you are also that, even if you may look a little bit differently, right?
Correct.
All right. So if we were to go 200,000 years, if somebody may have to go on mute, I hear water running and
Oh, that's me. That's me, bro. I'm in the kitchen doing some dishes.
okay, cool.
Bear with
So
me.
no, okay, I got you. So if we were to go 100 years, excuse me, 100,000 years in the past, whatever my ancestors were, I am still that today, even though there may have been modifications in my genes. I still am that today.
So you a
That's
frog?
where
You a frog? You a frog? You an amphibian?
that's where they gonna beat you up right
Uh,
there, Q.
Well,
That's where they
let me
gonna
ask you
beat
this
you up.
question.
you a frog?
Let me
You
ask you this
still a
question.
frog, nigga?
Madiwa,
You a tadpole?
Madiwa, let me ask you this question. So, if you could agree that whatever species, well, I don't want to say species, would you agree that whatever my father was, I'm also that, correct?
Yes.
It's in phylogeny. Okay. So, what's the difference between me going to my father, my great great grandfather, and then going up 200,000 years? Where's the difference?
The difference is speciation.
Yes,
Okay, great.
exactly. That's right.
The
All right.
difference is going to be
It's
the difference
changed
is
over
going to
time.
be
That's a fact.
right. The difference is going to be speciation. The reason, like we can, eh, modern Homo sapiens sapien is the descendant of Homo heidelbergensis. There was a demarcation that happened somewhere where we stopped being Homo heidelbergensis and began to be Homo sapiens. There was a line that was drawn there, so much so to the point that Homo heidelbergensis became extinct because it was either killed, died off, or whatever, and Homo sapien thrived and lived
Or
on.
bred
The
in?
same thing, right? The same thing happened with Homo neanderthalis, and the same thing happened with Homo denisovans. So there, once the speciation mark occurs, and there's no day. It's not like you could say, 90,000 BCE, March 3rd, you stop being this thing. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But there is a period,
Right.
a estimated period where this particular hominid, where they guesstimate really, where this particular hominid no longer was and transitioned into being this hominid. That's all that means, bro. So the
Right,
speciation
right.
is the main thing. Once we became Homo sapien sapien, we are for sure. We are for sure primates. Absolutely. We are all primates. That's our class. Excuse me, order.
Right.
That's our order. We're in the order of primates. There's no getting
Count.
around that. But
I
when
will
it
not
comes
argue
to
that.
right, when it comes to our species, our species is Homo sapien sapien.
Okay, great. So why? Let me try to find a way to respond to that. So yes, you are correct that the species change. But now, what you also know and agree with is that when speciation takes place, whatever change through speciation, it still is that thing that it's speciated or changed from. It's just the variation of it. So you have
Absolutely, absolutely not, bro. That's the
hold,
that's the
hold,
problem.
but actually it is though, because if you look at the 7 or 8 types of speciation, allopatric, parapatric, sympatric, these animals or yeah, animals were forced to change due to conditions, but they still are that thing. They just may look different, and yes, some of their genes may begin to change, but they still are that parent thing.
But that's not true, bro. That's not true.
So okay, so
That's simply on a species level. And we had this conversation a little earlier, but to have it again, since you're here now, what makes a species is being able to have viable offspring. I can't fuck no fine gorilla broad and have a baby. I don't give a fuck how fine the gorilla broad is.
but why is that though?
I can't fuck a chimpanzee broad. Excuse my language if children is watching or listening. I can't do it because we are so separated at the speciation level that that's not going to occur.
Thank you, brother. And I think you just answered the question, but it may have went over your head. So because we've diverged so far from what we once were, this is why we cannot have viable children together because we have diverged so far away. So now, if you were to take the split, let's see, what's the good one? If you were to take a split between uh the first human beings, right? The first humans, they could have sex and procreate with each other. You would agree with that, right?
Correct.
Okay, now watch this. If you were to separate black people and separate white people for 150 to 200,000 years, would we then be able to mate with each other and have viable offspring?
It all depends.
Depends on what.
It depends on diet, disease, and environment.
Okay, so you are agreeing that over this period of time, once we diverge so far away, that we cannot come back together, but we once were the same thing to where we could, right?
But here's the thing.
Hold on, brother. Don't get
No,
past
no,
that
no.
because
Hold on. I'm
no,
not
just
glazing
answer
over
that
that.
question.
I'm
No,
not
no, but
glazing over that.
no, but
Hold
just
on, hold on,
answer
hold
that
on,
though.
bro.
So
But
you can say what you
I'm
want, but
answering. I'm going to answer it. I'm going
but
to
I don't.
answer it. I'm going to
Oh,
answer it. This is what you're doing, no cube. You're saying monkey, human. There's at least 9 hominids in between the chimp divergence with what became Homo sapien sapien. There's at least 9 hominids. So there's at least 9 different transformations from when we were all the same thing.
and what was it?
When there was no humans, there was no Neanderthal, there was no Denisovan, there was no Homo heidelbergensis, there was no Florensis, there was no Lucy, there was no none of them motherfuckers. None of them motherfuckers are around. When the divert, I can't remember the name of the hominid, but the hominid that split that eventually became chimpanzee. It didn't split and it was chimpanzee that next day. It didn't split and become Homo
The
sapien.
lair.
What is it? No,
It
no,
was
that's
one.
the
I know what you're talking about, though.
yeah, that at that fork in the road,
Right.
there's at least 8 to 9 hominids that led up to Homo sapiens sapien. So for
Right.
us to say that we are monkeys is intellectually dishonest, bro.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
just yeah. And let me say this real quick too. See, like you said, Mudiwa earlier. To use that term monkey is just unscientific. People don't even,
Right.
real scholars don't even say that.
Yeah, that's why I said for him
Like
that he had to break down the term because the terms in everyday
Right,
speech and scientific
right,
speech is
Right.
exactly.
different.
Yeah,
Colloquially,
right,
monkey means something different than it means scientifically. Colloquially,
right,
monkey
exactly.
means all primates. That everybody, a motherfucker call a gorilla a monkey. You know what I mean? But
Right.
gorillas ain't monkeys. But that's
Right.
colloquially, and to use the term that some of my brothers use, there's the connotative meaning and the denotative meaning of a particular word.
But see, let me make this very clear. The reason why I use the word monkey, which is used as a conversation starter, so people can understand what I'm talking about. Because if I were to say
Oh,
But they're not
that,
oh.
understanding.
if
So
I
it's
hold on, let me
so
just
it's
say it
bait.
so you can
So
understand,
it's bait.
and I'll pause. If I were to say that we're all semiforms, people would be like, "Okay, what is that?" You see what I'm saying? So you have to
Yeah,
say
but
a
when you
word,
say monkey, they go off of their own personal knowledge of
Yeah,
what they
yeah,
know a
because
monkey
everybody else,
is.
and that's why I
nobody
said
wants to
that's why I
hear
said
what the
it's
hell
a
you got to say.
conversation. That's why I said it's a conversation starter. Because if I just say, okay, yeah, we're all semiforms, what does the conversation go? But if I say we're monkeys, you're gonna say, hold on, brother,
So
how are
you
we
just,
monkeys?
yeah, you just throwing smoke bombs real quick. You know what I'm saying? Get
Nah, not
everybody
at
lit.
all. We are monkeys though, so there's no way around that.
No, there's a way around it, bro. Now, if you would have said we're all primates, a motherfucker can't do nothing but agree with you. That knows the
So
science.
all right.
Right,
So
right.
let me
Right,
ask
right.
let me ask
Same amount of teeth, vertebrae, freaking hip structure, fucking goddamn almost every bone in the body, down to the
That,
hands.
Because even if
like,
you go start the conversation off with saying that, nah, man, we come from monkeys, you will immediately have to give them the breakdown of what that means under the categorization of what we're talking about at the
like
end of
what the
the day.
fuck? What the fuck? Because Cube, you got to remember that's our biggest obstacle as atheists. Because the first thing a motherfucking a thumper is gonna say is, "I ain't no damn monkey. I didn't come from monkeys." And we're naturally supposed to tell them, "You're absolutely right. You didn't come from no
Right,
monkey." Then we
Right,
have to educate them about primates versus monkeys versus simians and how the divergence happened 6 million years ago.
right,
And then
right,
they head pop off. You know what I'm saying?
see but see like that's okay if that's the way that you guys want to attack it, but I just have my own way. Because you'll get that same reaction if you were to tell people that they're an ape. You get the same reaction. And this is why this is the same reason why you guys tell people that we come from apes, and excuse me, that we don't come from apes, that we are apes, is the same reason that I'm telling y'all that we are monkeys. I'm just going up a rung higher. That's all I'm doing. Because the question I would have to ask is, when did apes arise and where do they come from? And your only answer can be from
I'm gonna just say this. One thing that I always tell people is y'all will equate yourselves with lions. Y'all will equate
Mm.
yourselves with
But why
doves.
can't nobody just
Y'all will
answer that
equate
question before we
yourselves
move on?
with the
Uh,
rose of Sharon. Y'all will equate yourselves with all kinds of anthropomorphic ideations until
but
it
don't
comes
want
to
to be
apes,
a primate, right?
because of the racism that transpired
Thank you.
under, you know what
Thank
I'm saying?
you.
Yeah. So black people are extremely sensitive when you call them a monkey because it has a racial connotation
Thank
that goes back
you.
years.
Niggas
Okay,
get
so
triggered when
And
they
so
hear
they
the word
can't accept
monkey.
the fact that, yeah,
A
they can't
primate.
accept the fact. Listen, tell somebody, like,
they get triggered because they not
if I'm a
educated.
monkey, yeah, if I'm a monkey, then you're a hog person, and I tell you right now, a freaking hog is gonna get his ass beat in a freaking den full of fucking goddamn gorillas.
Right.
all
I'm
right.
a
Well, how would
I'm a
how
great gorilla.
I
how
want to
does a
ask
nigga how does
again.
a nigga rather be a lion than a motherfucking primate, a ape? I don't get
I'm a
it.
Leo, but at the same time, I'm a gorilla, and on my Chinese freaking goddamn sign, I'm a tiger. I got all of the predator and the apex predators are all in my fucking goddamn. You know what I mean?
But
And I'm
let's
proud of
let's
all of them.
get back to what we was
I ain't
talking
got
about.
no problems with
Go
equating
ahead, Q.
myself.
To
Yeah, so the
go.
point I'm trying to make is that the question that I asked that I really want answered Because if you want to say that we aren't monkeys, then where do apes come from?
Where do apes come from? Great
Right.
question. All we got to do is go back and look at the lineage. Like where is the demarcation line from ape and monkey?
That's
And
the whole
what
point.
does
Right.
hold on. Does the thing that the monkey come from, would it be considered ape or would it be considered monkey? That we don't know that. So you're making a bold statement when you say we come from monkeys because we don't know
Now he presented
if
a
hold on. This is listen carefully at what I'm saying.
come on,
If there's
come,
a
come.
if there's a branch, if there's a branch where there was a demarcation between, although monkey is extremely colloquial, ape and primate is more scientific. If
Right.
there's a demarcation point, what was the thing that they demarcated from? Was that thing ape or was that thing colloquially monkey? And I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be monkey.
Okay, well, brother, you're incorrect. It is monkey, unfortunately, and this is why somebody said, "Well, no scientist scientifically doesn't say it like that," but they actually do. If you look at the phylogenetic tree, you see exactly what I'm saying. It's just that people stop at ape. They never go any further. Nobody ever goes any further. So now that's why I have to ask the question again: when did apes arise, and then when did monkeys first arise?
As
Because
soon as I get out this kitchen, I'm gonna get on my keyboard and find out. And it ain't
well,
hard to
well,
find
I'll tell
out.
you. Okay, well, I'll tell you. So apes first arose around 13 to 18 million years ago, and monkeys arose between 36 to 50 million years ago. So, excuse me. And we know and understand that apes came from that line of Catarrhini. We know that emphatically. So if they came from that, if they came from that line and they begin to branch off, they still are that thing. The same way, the same reason why Neil Shubin wrote that book about your inner fish, telling you that this is where you come from. This is what we came from, and there's no way around that.
So
I don't,
when do we stop doing that?
we can't stop, bro.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. When do we stop and say, hey, I can call you a single cell organism. You're a single cell, or knowing that you're a multi cell organism because you're a fucking human. We're all just single cell organisms. Can I call you that?
Yes, brother. And if I can share my screen, I'm gonna show you why. Like this ain't even that hard. I don't even know why it's even
Oh
a
dear.
if you can understand that you are an ape, going up further should not be a problem. If you contest monkey, you should be contesting ape because we're different than the other apes. Remember, you talk about demarcation lines. So if you contest ape, I mean, excuse me, if you contest monkey, you have to contest ape because we're not the same as gorillas. We're not the same as the other great apes. We're just not. Do we share?
Mm,
Do we share?
mm,
Do
well,
we share?
but
Go ahead.
when we say we're in the order of primates, right? We're in the order of primates. We all share that order, right? And then when we start breaking it down to the classification that goes above that, that's when we start demarcating and we say that, hey man, we see some separations, we see some differences. If you want to say colloquially, if you want to say monkey, I'll give you that. I'll concede that colloquially. But scientifically, I can't concede that because monkey means
Right.
monkey is a colloquial term for different types of primates. It's not a it's
Right.
there's no such
So
species
is the
as a
word
monkey.
ape, and so is the word ape. Like, come on, what are you talking about? There's different species.
No.
There's different species under ape. So you're saying
Great ape.
okay,
Great ape.
let me share
A
my screen real
and
quick. Let me share my
simians.
screen just really quick, please. Let me just share my screen really quick. Because if you contest,
And where did Consul go, man? I was enjoying his conversation as well, man. He was doing a good job
hey,
of fucking goddamn getting shit hot.
hey, Sister
He was
Kareem, can I
making
just
shit hot
finish
in
really
this
quick?
motherfucker.
I'm just gonna share maybe one or two slides of the presentation I did because
Did you understand what I said about special variation, special classification, and the word species meaning special or specific? A specific classification. When you say special classification, you're specific. So watch this. Ants are are part of the hornet family. Would you call an ant a bee or a
If
wasp?
that's what listen, if that's where they descend from, then technically that's what they are. Like there is no
No,
way around that, man. I don't
they're
get it.
ants. They're ants. They're their own phylum.
Yes, brother.
Yes,
Yes, I
they
get
might
it.
have descended from them in a later generational pattern, but when you look at the insects really rule the world. If we think that we control this shit, y'all are bugging. And
Actually,
and I
fungus
mean that.
does, but actually, fungus does, but that's a
Yo,
whole
but
different
Is
fungus,
conversation.
hold on.
you're
Is
right.
the
That comes
sister
first.
there?
Fungus does.
Is the sister Karima there so we can so I can share this
Yeah,
screen real
Sister
quick?
Karima, he wants to share his screen, sis.
Because I need you to see this because this is the only way you're gonna be able to conceptualize what I'm talking about. It's for you to actually see it. Like there's a
So
reason,
so I can call you a marsupial then. You know what I'm saying? Like
bro. You
you're if I call you a raccoon or call a nigga a coon, then I'm literally in my right to do so. Right? Huh? Huh? I can call a nigga a coon for
yes,
real.
yes,
Like
yes,
I
brother.
really
Yes,
can, right?
yes, 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 yes,
And
brother.
it would apply. See,
Okay,
are
yes.
you gonna call an aratia a eukarya or a bacteria? An
Right.
aratia and a eukarya are special variations that verge off from one another from the proto-phylogenetic single-celled organisms. But you
Okay,
can't call one the other.
okay, great. So
Correct or
now
incorrect?
the point that I'm making that I'm sharing my screen is because we have different domains of life, and the brother understands that you can't escape your phylogeny. You just can't. So there's never gonna be a day that I'm gonna wake up and be bacteria. You see what I'm saying? So now, as we
Okay.
begin to go further and further and further,
But
we
you have
get.
bacteria living inside of you that keeps you alive, right?
But I'm not answering
Okay.
that right
All
now
right.
because it's
Go
kind of
ahead. Go ahead,
ridiculous,
brother.
bro. So
Push
so
forward.
so now so now when we look at this right here, we have the semiforms, which are monkeys. There is no way around that. These emerged 36 to 50 million years ago. So now what and they even if you look right here where my mouse is, you got the old world monkeys, great apes, gibbons, and humans. So now we would have to ask ourselves when this phylogenetic tree starts to break down, where are we coming from? You see Homo right here, that's us. You see pan, chimpanzees, gorillas, and so forth. Where do we come from? And this is very clear. I don't understand how anybody can get around this. Because
But,
I
but
tell, let me take
okay, go
this
ahead, bro. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
last thing and I'll pull it down. Monkeys are broke down into two separate categories. You have Platyrrhini and you have Catarrhini. The Platyrrhini would be your New World monkeys. That's why I said if I were to say the word semiform, people would know what the F I was talking about. So I have to say monkeys because the Platyrrhini, they're monkeys, and nobody says a word about it. Nobody talks about anything that comes from them. Nobody calls them a monkey. But as soon as it comes to the Catarrhini, they can't be old world monkeys anymore. There is no way around this. I'm sorry, and I yield.
Okay. I think that I
My
think that
screen?
the
Can I share my screen real quick? Can I share my
go
screen?
ahead, bro.
Since he wants to do that, I want to show y'all something that he's glossing over, or maybe he's just not, what I'm saying, privy to it. But this is related to what he just showed. This right here is called the evolutionary tree of life family. So watch this. You got me? You got me, sis? Can y'all see that? Can y'all see this? Look at this.
Yeah.
Uh,
You see,
damn,
life on
my phone.
Earth begins right here. If y'all look at hold on. If y'all look at my my cursor right here, Earth's birth, and then here begins the bacterial age. The brother just showed you bacteria. Here's the bacterial branch. This is the bacterial family tree going all the way from 3,000 millions of years ago to today, right? Aratia showed you that. Arachoid, rachioids, however you want to say it. Then it goes into plants, right? And then the plants begin, and then fungi, right here. See that? Right? So we go all here that there's one. Wait. ocean's crust, global ice age 1, 2, Cambrian explosion, mass extinction. So that's 4 extinctions, mass extinction 5 and 6, 7 mass extinctions. And that's all. Hold on, let me go back. That's all. Before humans, humans is right here, all the way at the end today. Chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutan, gibbons, old world monkeys. This is the branch that he's saying that you can call yourself that. Okay, that you want to do that. You go right on here. I ain't no orangutan. I ain't no gorilla. I ain't no chimpanzee. I'm not a rodent. All right, we go into the marsupials. We go into the dogs and wolves, the sloths. Look at all these branches coming from the mammals alone. Not just talking about birds and reptiles, dinosaurs, amphibians, fish. The interesting thing, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and birds. Aren't those days calculated in the scriptures? And in Genesis, in certain days, the fish were there. In other days, the birds. And like they got some as say sugar, honey, iced tea. Going back to the dust of the earth. You're talking about little microorganisms. If you go and study evolution in clay, then you'll understand why in the scriptures it talks about the potter using clay to form the living creatures of the earth, and then even unto man being the last. I slide all the way over here so y'all can see again. Mankind, right here, right? Go down this little tree, go and get some Australopithecus, some Homo erectus, some Homo habilis, some Homo, right? It does not go against anything. Scripture does
But
not detour
my
anyone
point,
from scientific
my question is this
information.
to brother Q. Like, okay, if you want to use the term monkey, you be understand that you're going to get a lot of pushback from, especially from believers and also atheists as well, because the the way we're presenting the information, it that's just your way of presenting the information. That's not the consensus of way the information is presented. If you want to say we're monkeys, you can do that. You can say we come from that little shit that was on Ice Age. That little shit was a primate. That little shit wasn't a monkey. I mean, excuse me. It wasn't a monkey, but it was a primate for sure. Was it a uh I don't know, what was the name of that thing? Lemur. I think it was a lemur or something like that.
Lemurs are monkeys, but they're not in the Haplorhini family as we are. They're New World monkeys. Well, not, excuse me, not they're autosoforms. Excuse me, they're tossiforms. They're not us.
Right, but
They're
is but
cousins, if you will.
right, but what I'm saying is, where do we draw the demarcation line? Do we have to pick a point and say, okay, this thing is closely associated to us, and the demarcation line that we chose, and this was just agreed upon by the scientific community, is Australopithecus. We're saying that this is the beginning of something that's sort of like us, upright, bipedal, able to get it in on 2 legs. So that's the demarcation line that we use, and we wouldn't call.
Right.
Although I would, although Lucy is more she. I don't call her a
Call
human. I
her
don't
her
call her.
African name is Dinkanesh. They call her Dinkanesh in Ethiopia. Say
Okay, there you
Dinkanesh.
go.
Man, we ain't got to say
Right,
no African
Dinkanesh.
name. We don't speak African, man. Get out of
Say
here with that.
say what they call her where she came from, man.
No,
right,
My
brother.
but okay.
Stop it. Go ahead, brother. Continue so I can
Right.
listen.
So what I'm saying is, I don't really that school of thought that says that, hey, that school of thought that says that Lucy is the beginning of us, and if you start going but further than that, you're going to start muddying the waters. Like when do we stop
Yeah.
saying that's the beginning of us?
What,
As far as Homo
Right.
sapiens sapien.
but see, watch this though.
Right.
Listen to what you're saying, bro. You're saying that Lucy was the beginning of us. Lucy had to come from somewhere, bro. And the
Understood.
okay, so
What's it mean? Price of a can of beans right now.
the
The
further
fact of the
we
matter
go,
is that we don't know any further than that. And this is where the transition became a difference of
Whatever you
special
tell me.
a variation.
See me lick my
This is
lips.
where we know for sure that we changed from the way most old world monkeys and even great apes still function
You good.
today.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Deep
brother.
fried cabbage.
I'm not
Deep
understanding
fried. Deep fried.
what's going on here. So we can look at
You could because you don't have the cat on your head. That's why the cat is not on your head. So that's why you're not getting it.
Can we just say this? Like you're technically not wrong and you're technically not right.
no,
Intentionally took a hell of a gray area to put your tent up. You know what I'm saying? Like you chose a extreme gray area.
but
Like
I
that's
didn't
a
though. But I actually didn't though.
bro. No
Dinkiness
one.
Malachi.
Li-
I don't think no one would agree if I don't think no geneticists or anthropologists or they would if you said, "Hey, humans come from monkeys." I
no,
don't think
see you doing what they do. Humans don't come from apes. Humans are apes, brother.
I didn't say
He
apes.
said
I said
you
monkeys.
now
No,
I used
brother,
the
listen,
word you
according
used.
to
I know, but
your
listen to how you worded it. You said humans don't come from monkeys. That's like you saying humans don't come from apes. We correct them all the time and say them humans are apes. So now, if you
But
take
listen,
it,
let me say this again. You're not listening to what I'm
go
saying.
ahead.
Listen carefully. If you're saying humans are monkeys, you have to show that we are in the monkey family. And right now, we are not in the monkey quote unquote family.
The
We
extent.
are in the we are in the ape family.
Come on, brother. Listen, we are not in any extant monkey family. No, we are not. Circle Pit today, we are not in that family, but we are in the Catarrhini family. And if you go further, you get tetrapods. And if you look at my the further you go, look at what happens. You have triploid in there. You see what I'm saying? Like, can you see this?
Let me see. Hold on. Let me cut my joint back on. Let me cut my joint back on. Hold tight. Damn.
Can you
Y'all
put
still
the
there?
our images to the on the left side if you can, just so like the full image can be displayed.
Hey man, who is that with the Django screensaver?
That's
I
me,
thought that
yo.
was how you know.
And that's not Django, that's Black Snake Moan, nigga.
So
Okay.
so check it. So now you would agree that we are tetrapods, right?
Of course I would agree.
Okay, so something came before the tetrapods, and what came before that was fish, bro. Like there's a
But
literally
we don't no one disagrees with that though, family.
okay, so
No one I mean from let me take that back. As a person that understands the science, I can't speak for the Bible thumpers. As a person that understands the science, I don't disagree with that.
okay, so if you're gonna say that if you agree that tetrapods came from fish, why don't you agree that apes came from monkeys? And the further we go up, this is what we get. We get fish, bro. Like
Listen to what I'm saying. In order, like, okay, and I'm somewhat conceding to your point, but I'm saying when we're teaching people, when we're teaching the masses, we have to give it to them as close to reverse chronological order as possible. We can't go to tetrapods and try to move forward and say we come from fish, then tetrapods, and then we go into mammalians, and then we can't. That's
I
gonna
didn't do that,
you.
brother.
What I'm saying? Listen to what I'm saying, family. But essentially, that's what you're doing. It convolutes the conversation for people that don't understand what we're talking about. It's like you're giving them. It's like you're giving them calculus before you give them basic arithmetic. We got to give them basic arithmetic first, because they're not. They're gonna zone out and be like, "Huh? What?"
Brother, I
Do you
respectfully,
understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, and that makes sense not to give them. You know what I'm saying? You can't feed a child table food. I get that. Like a baby, not a child, but a
Right.
baby table food. I get that. But that's
Listen,
not.
don't minimize the community. Don't
That's not what
minimize
I.
their
But the
intelligence.
point. But the
Don't do
point I'm
that.
trying. But no, it's not minimizing their intelligence. It's giving it to them in doses. So
Right.
this is what I did. Like I showed you, okay, where we're Homo sapiens, and then we also have extant monkeys today. Like living monkeys today, we have these things. But where those monkeys came from that are extant, they had monkeys that are extinct that they came from. The same way that we have monkeys that we came from. That's
But
not
but
a
you're
difficult
but you're
concept.
in my opinion, if I was you, and I'm not minimizing my people at all. I The best way to explain the evolutionary narrative is explain it to people as if you're talking to a middle school child. And when you start going too far back, they might shake their head in agreement, but they're not listening. They might zone out and they're not listening. So you have to give it to them in increments that's understandable for them. Like they'll understand, hey, humans right now are in the order of primates. We are considered apes. Apes and monkeys are considered a bit of a different thing. And then once they comprehend that, we can start going a little more back. We can start going a little more. But you dig what I'm saying? You have to give it to them at a point to where they can understand it, because you're overwhelming people that first that's extremely averse to the information. They're extremely averse to it. And then you're bombarding them with some 70, 80 million years ago stuff. No, let's not do that to them. Let's at least try to
Right.
keep it less than a million years ago first. So we start talking about, let's talk about the progenitor of Homo sapiens sapien. Once they understand that to a fundamental level, we work our way in. You dig what I'm saying, bro?
And I'll go with the whole narrative of the transmigration of the Nile Valley, right? Because even Lucy's bones were found at the base of the Blue Nile, and this is where human development began at the early root, which they called the Garden of Eden, according to the scripture. If y'all want to get deep, we can get deep, but the transmigration going upward into the Sinai Peninsula, then into what is called modern day Iraq and the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? The empires of Mesopotamia, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, Egypt. You have to look at what is called a transmigration and biological geography. Biogeography lets you know where transmigrations of different people, and then from there you can see the root of how many different groups and haplogroups descended from multiple families that moved upward from the base of the Blue Nile and then into Lower Egypt, and then
Okay, well we can.
I'll get deep
I
into that.
don't. I'm not disputing none of that at all. I'm not disputing any of that at all. And if you want to write that as being, if you want to write that narrative as being, you know, the way you
I
can
don't have to write it. I
comprehend
mean,
it.
it's primarily the, and not to appeal to authority, but it's primarily the consensus of most anthropologists when they talk about the development of early human genotypes going into from what do you call it, Australopithecus into Homo habilis, Homo sapien, Homo erectus, Homo sapien sapien, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
Neanderthal and Denisovan bloodlines. They will never argue against the transmigration that came up from the lower Nile Valley.
Right. But
They call Nile
I think
Valley
that
cultures.
I think
Right.
that the conversation gets a little murky when you throw in the phrase what do y'all call it? What is it? Garden of Eden. I think that kind of like
Well, it says the river that encompassed the whole land of Ethiopia. But if you understand that the Greeks called Aethiops the whole northeastern coast, even going to the northern top of North Saharan Africa, all of that was considered Aethiops. And so when they say encompass the whole land of Ethiopia, they're actually talking about the blue and white Nile.
uh, I mean, I
When it
I
talks about
that's
The Gihon and the River Havilah, those two rivers did not exist in Arabia at all. Okay, the
right.
Euphrates did, and so they're talking about a river that goes up first from the Nile Valley, encompasses the whole land of Ethiopia, and then they talk about the other adjacent rivers in Mesopotamia, in Arabia, which is, you know what I'm saying, Euphrates, etc., etc. Right? Because the only place you'll ever see Havilah in the Middle East is no, the Gihon Springs, but the actual river Gihon is one of the blue and white Niles. It's Gihon and Havilah are the blue and white Niles. It's what Genesis starts off with when they place a geographic region for Eden.
But the premise of Eden is questionable. So you can speculate, give
And how
conjecture, and all
interesting is
that.
it that's where early human development
But
began?
that but
How
that
interesting is that?
what I'm saying is that like that's what you get from reading the scriptures.
That's what it says. It says what it says. I mean, nobody can argue against that.
it can be definitely be argued, bro. It can definitely be argued. I just
They can
choose not
try,
to.
but it
Well,
says it very clearly in the scriptures, right there in
all
Genesis.
right, all
The
right.
first two rivers, Havilah. When do you see the name Havilah in any family? You only see it in the children of Ham through Cush.
But what I'm saying
And
is
then the
that
river
but
Gihon,
what you're doing, bro. Hold
encompasses
on,
the
bro.
whole land
Hold
of
on,
Ethiopia.
bro. Bro,
Nothing to
bro.
argue about.
You're giving conjecture about conjecture about conjecture. Like you
I'm
can't.
giving biblical geography along with present day geography.
But you're
I'm
giving
not even dealing
conjecture,
with
bro,
theology.
bro,
I'm dealing
bro.
with geography
But
as it's explained in
you're
the scriptures
giving
and
you're
as it
giving
functions in
you're
modern day, present
giving
day
But the place of
science.
Eden, the Garden of Eden, is not a geological place that we can be a geographical place that can be
It
found.
really is.
So
It really is. It
no,
really
It's
it's
is.
not.
really
It really is.
not, bro. It's really not.
It really
And you
is.
can't listen
It's
to
a
me. Listen to me.
geographic
Hold
place
on.
where
Bro, bro,
human
bro,
life
bro, bro, bro,
formed,
bro, 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 bro. Hold on for a second. Slow down.
where the first
What you're doing,
man was
hold on,
formed
bro.
after.
Hold on, bro. What you're doing is you're reading from a text that uses words like ham, sham, and all of that stuff, and you're giving conjecture to fictional entities, and then you're juxtaposing
No, no,
that
no.
again. That's what exactly what you're doing, bro. There's no
Let me just say
ham.
this.
Listen to me,
Let me
bro.
just say this.
Listen carefully.
Hold on.
Hold on, let me finish,
Okay, go
bro.
ahead. Go
Can
ahead.
I
Go ahead. Go
finish?
ahead, Op. Go ahead. Yeah.
There's no ham. There's no Shem. There's no Japhet. There's none of the people that the shits don't exist. So when you're trying to draw a correlation and say this is the land of these people right here, you are being intellectually dishonest, bro. Period. There's no evidence to support that.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I speak now,
But
or do you want to go
Go ahead,
outside the
bro.
cube? You want to back him up before I go and smush y'all
yeah,
both of y'all heads in?
yeah. I just have like 2 or 3
Hey, there's some
sentences.
nice
When you talk,
Go
basketball
ahead,
tricks
brother.
you
Go
got
ahead. Go ahead, Aki.
there.
yeah, when you're talking about the Garden of Eden, that's not a geographical place that anybody has ever found, nor is there any evidence that it actually exists. So what you're doing is you're trying to conflate the Bible with science, and that just doesn't work, brother. But nice try,
Right.
because
Nice try.
last thing I'll say is this: the Bible does talk about landmarks and people who actually existed, and also Spider-Man does the same thing. That doesn't make it true, but go ahead.
He should come back in. Go ahead. Complete your thought.
No, I was done.
All right. So here's the deal. It actually does. All right. So there is a historicity to, and I did a whole presentation on it. It was about maybe like 58 minutes. It was a couple of days ago. I think I was skipping a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of in the matrix a little bit. But however, I break down the historicity of the Bible and the timelines within the scripture that go all the way back to about maybe 13, 14 century BCE, if not a little bit further than that, right? So I break down some of the stories that are, you know what I'm saying, considered mythos, you know what I'm saying, but that are supported by other Nile Valley traditional folklore and tales, even in Egypt, around the same time periods that the biblical narrative around about Moses and Joseph, et cetera, would have existed, although there's very little evidence to support their existence. The Egyptian narrative actually does. And so one of the things I showed was that there were over 53 different dynastic kings that were named throughout the Bible that were actually historic people. And you can see them in Kings and First Kings, Second Kings, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles, in Hezekiah, and all of these books, and even in what is it, Esther, and in all those books, they have a specific timeline that actually denotes the kings that are being named inside of their text that were actually historic characters at, ironically, the same time period that the book was supposedly being written. So
But
the
notice that.
issue
Oh, I
is,
thought you were done. I'm
the
sorry.
issue is, hold on, I'm gonna land my plane, and you have much more decorum here than you have on Sonetta TV. But I love you, brother. You know I love you. I'm gonna punch you in the knee though for that. So at the end of the day, when we get back to the narratives of timeline, there is a historic variation that has, because what they used to say, they even tell you even now that a person cannot tell a lie without trying to tell a partial truth. So in forensic science, it is up to the forensic scientist, the person who is making an evaluation and doing the investigative work, to figure out what parts of the story are true and what parts are not true. And that's in any story, even going back into the Odyssey, you know what I'm saying, the Iliad, all of the Greek, you know what I'm saying, stories. They had mythos
I
that
need
was
to
mixed with
pause you.
their
I need
own
to pause.
political
I need to
ideas of
pause you
their
right
time.
there, bro. Bro, I need to
Okay, go ahead,
pause you
brother.
right there. When you the burden of proof is on the individual making the claim. It's not on the person listening to the claim.
I
If you
already know
make
that, bro, and that's why I'm
so
talking, but you just
can I
cut me off
hold
while I
on?
was
No,
trying to
no,
complete
no,
my
no, no,
burden.
no, no. You were not. You were going somewhere else.
So you want me to bring
You
up
were
sources?
saying
You
what
want me to
I'm
bring up
saying is
sources? I can do that.
listen to what I'm saying, bro. If you're making a Garden of Eden claim, we need to see your sources. There's like absolutely
Okay.
no. Let me finish. There's absolutely no way, bro, that a book that was written at best, I'm talking about at best, at best 2,000 years ago, can talk about the events of.
Objection.
Let me allow me to finish. There is no way that at best a book written 2,000 years ago can chronicle the events of 300,000 years ago. There is absolutely no way, bro. That's laughable to even think it can be done.
I object because I think what you're doing is you're conflating what you think is the time period of when the original oral traditions began. And I mean that's a whole nother argument within itself. But I'll say this, you know what I'm saying? One thing you cannot do is you cannot deviate the fact that this is a Nile Valley tradition. And the Nile Valley is where anthropologists to this day believe that early human life began. That is what Eden really means. It's a beginning. It's a new beginning. Okay. From what? From an old one? How many different cataclysmic events happened even prior to man's development in this dispensation that we live in now? This is one of the smallest time periods, compared to all of the other animals that lived on this earth. They lived here for millions of years without
because it's
any
the present.
interruption.
Because it's the present.
Without any interruption, brother. Without any interruption, right? And so man has only lived here a short period of time. We have not even equated to, like, the Precambrian and some of the ages where the dinosaurs existed. We're a butt stain. Hold on the history of life on this planet. I don't think anybody will argue with me on that,
Okay, cool.
right?
So now this is the
Wait, hold on.
problem.
Let me just put a period on my plane. I'm
Oh,
about to put a period
you're
on it.
done.
So
It's
at the
not
end of the
gonna
day, simply stating that you have a bias concerning the scriptures, and I don't. I can come from a very objective position, or I can come from a subjective position, and the two can twain, and that's called the difference between the profane and what they call the profane and the sacred, right? The profane and the sacred. You have to study this in philosophy, which is a science of itself. If you don't know nothing about sociology and psychology, and then you're not going to understand where I'm coming from at all.
We've been giving you a whole lot of latitude with this, though, bro.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
at the
taking
end
them
of the
back,
day,
but we gotta
none of
no.
you
You
can
said
be
you were done.
objective.
I thought
None
the
of you can
plane
be
landed or
entirely
did it
objective.
crash? Which one?
Can any
You've
of you
been.
be entirely objective when you don't have all the answers?
Okay,
We don't
okay.
have to
Can you?
have. We don't have to have all the answers to know when the story is
So
bullshit.
you
We
can't
just
be
have to know that the
entirely
story is
objective. You have
bullshit.
some beliefs.
Listen
Do
to
you
what I'm
have
saying,
some
bro. Hold
beliefs?
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Pause, bro. We don't have to have all of the answers to know when we're being lied to. We just have to know when we're being lied to.
It's not about being lied to, bro.
But bro, it is being lied to. You're
Not at
pushing a
all. Not at all.
you're listen, bro. You're pushing a narrative that no one that the overall scientific global consensus does not agree with.
But hold on,
Period.
before we go there, let's put him back in this bag that he was stuck in. He was talking about the Garden of Eden.
I
Can
object to
we
that.
Right.
That's
shift?
not true.
But
Actually,
we hold on,
90% of
brother.
the
We were
scientific
talking about the
community
garden.
are actually religious people who either coming from Islam or coming from an Abrahamic faith, Christianity, and even Judaism. So you
Okay,
cannot say, hold on, stop, real quick. That's a false narrative. What you just said is a
Not at
goddamn
all.
lie.
Not
Because
at all.
90%, wait,
Not at all.
hold on. Even your boy who did, the whole gravity thing was a Christian. A lot of the cats that came out that heralded science
That's a
were
non
actually
sequitur. That's
Christians,
a non
Muslims,
sequitur.
or
That's a non sequitur.
no. So what
That's a
you're
non
saying is a non
sequitur.
sequitur. So
That's
so
a
so
non
so I
sequitur.
moved to
but let's
strike.
get back
Science.
I
to the
moved to
point
strike
of
Let's
the
get
your.
back to the
Garden of
subject.
I
Eden.
That's a
moved to
non
strike
The
your
Garden of
sequitur.
Eden.
conjecture.
You're moving the
I moved to
goalposts
strike your
with non
conjecture,
sequiturs.
and you can move to strike my conjecture. But at the end of the day, what you just did was an actual false narrative.
Okay, so good. Okay, whatever. Let's get back to the Garden of Eden. You were talking about the blue and the white Nile and all of this. Can I pull up on Google Earth right now the Garden of Eden?
Zion, can we? Now you quiet. What's wrong? Truth got your tongue?
Because see, the funny part about it is we can pull up the blue now on Google Earth, it won't have a problem. But we cannot pull up some of these places that this book claims existed. Like we just can't do it. The Garden of Eden is a mythical place that never existed.
Like Atlantis, like the
Exactly.
land of Mu, like all of that shit.
Right. None of these places ever existed, man. And that's what I was telling the brother earlier. Like, yeah, the Bible does mention certain places that are around today that are on the earth,
Atlantis is trash, y'all. I don't believe in
and
Atlantis.
so is the Garden of Eden.
Eden,
Let's get
same
to that.
difference.
Let's get to that.
Same
No,
difference.
see, what I'm saying is that
No, my question.
how
No,
they
let me reiterate my
romanticize
question. Let me reiterate my
the Garden of
Let
Eden
me
in the
reiterate
Bible,
my
but the Garden of
question because you
Eden
didn't.
was only basically a
Let me
birthing
reiterate
place.
my question, brother. Please, let me
This
reiterate my question,
doesn't mean that it was an actual
brother.
haven.
Brother, please, I want to reiterate
It's
my
an
question.
origin of special variation.
Okay, brother, is there a way for me to pull up on Google Earth the Garden of Eden? That's question number one.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Karima, did you give me a wrench? You gave me a wrench in the chat. I'm pop shotting at you right now. That's all. That's shade. That's shade outside the cube.
Yeah,
Y'all not ready.
only women and people of the gay community use that word shade and like coins, so that doesn't matter to me. But yeah, I want you to get back to showing me if we can find the Garden of Eden on Google Earth.
Wherefore art thou, Garden of Eden?
Say something in the chat so I can find you.
See?
Hey, what happened? What happened to your boy JJ? He ran up out of here. It was too hot. It was too scientific for him.
That's crazy.
Cut it out. You know JJ love to smoke, big. Don't do
JJ don't
that.
want. JJ don't want
Come up
no.
in here doing that dumb shit,
Yeah,
man.
he's unmuting his mic and responding to everything except
Oh,
my
don't do
question.
that dumb shit, yo. Y'all don't want no smoke with JJ Seventh Thou Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Brother, are you not interested in having a conversation on the subject that I presented?
I've been
No,
trying,
he's
but you
out of.
want to
He's
try to
out of
go over it.
gas,
Wait,
bro.
hold on,
Can we
Mudiwa,
fill
hold
some
on.
questions from the
Wait,
audience?
hold
Can
on.
we fill some questions from the audience,
Hold on,
please?
yeah, we'll
Because
do
I'm
that.
about to
Let me just
bounce,
address
man.
him. Let me just address him because he's asking me a question that he already knows the answer to, and he's been trying to get me on fucking goddamn Sarnetta, even though I don't care to go on Sarnetta. Debate me here, bro. We can have a conversation or we can have a debate. We already agreed to this shit. Well, what's the point when you're a person in the den and the den don't give a fuck about your affiliations with other fucking goddamn platforms? Everything is all fair and love and war here, brother.
Okay, but
But I
now
don't,
let's
I don't
get back.
mind
Let's fill
debating
some
here.
questions
But
from the
let's
audience.
get, listen. I don't mind debating here, but let's get back to my question. If you're not interested in fielding that question, then just say so I can go ahead and leave.
What was the question? Ask it again, please, brother.
I'm not interested in asking you again because I've done it twice already.
I don't listen. I thought I answered it. I object, asked, and answered. I object, asked, and answered. If you ask me a question, I'm gonna try to answer it off the top. If somebody was cutting me off, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Nah, nobody cut you off. We sat here quiet, and that's why Mudiwa said,
So
"Wherefore
say the
art thou?"
question again so
Nobody
I can
cut you off.
reiterate my answer that I said before.
No, I'm not interested. Now we're taking questions from the chat.
So is this concerning the fact that you want to still use the term monkey?
Can we
So
get some
you
questions
Because
from
I
the
how did
thought
chat?
I
so
clarified
hold
this
on.
with you.
So the brother said he answered it, but he doesn't even know the question. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Stop
I've
being
been answering
dishonest.
questions all night. I just
Stop
don't
being
remember which one you're talking about. If it has
the
to do with
last
the
one.
monkey situation,
The
I
last
already
question.
clarified this before you came on this stage. We didn't even have to have this conversation because I told you what special classification means.
Bro,
Special
it
means
wasn't
special
about
means
that. It wasn't about
specificity.
that.
So to be specific about a specific special fucking goddamn variation or fucking goddamn
That wasn't the
prototypical
question.
haplotype means that you have to be specific about what you're saying, and you cannot place human beings in the fucking goddamn doorstep
I
of,
was
being monkeys unless you want
I
to call them amphibians and motherfucking ferns too.
I was asking a question about geography, brother. That's all I was doing.
What about the
Which you
geography?
and I asked the question twice, but it's okay because you started talking about other shit. But that's
No,
okay.
sometimes I like to try to walk away and let y'all talk because I don't want people to say that I be cutting people off because I do that sometimes.
Well, why don't you just listen and not cut people off? Are you not capable of doing that?
Yeah,
Then do it, brother. Like, come on,
be
man. You're a
doing
grown
multiple
man.
things. I'm multitasking, bro. Come on, be
We are the
reiterate the question for me,
world.
please.
We are the children.
If we ain't got no comments in the chat, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce, man. I appreciate the build, but hey, Mudiwa, man,
Uh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm gonna say this. You know, at least you came to an understanding to where you said that I was technically right, even though you called it a gray area, which I don't think it is. But at
I
least you
said that
understand.
too, though. Remember when I said that if you use special classification, you can say that we come
Bro, didn't you
from
just say
these
you had a
old
problem with cutting
monkeys.
people off? And you
I
said
never
you
denied
didn't
that,
look
bro.
good?
I
Didn't
never
you?
denied that.
Didn't you just say you have a
Never.
problem? Didn't you just say you have a
But you
problem with
cannot classify Homo sapiens sapien under the same banner. You just can't. It doesn't matter because later on there is what Mudiwa Mugabe said. There is a divergence that then changes the classification. You can no longer, you could go over there and try to fuck a monkey, but you ain't gonna make it pregnant. You like
Okay.
booty, then you know what I'm saying? Do what you do like you do on TV.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so Mudiwa, once again, man, thank you for agreeing with me, you know, and saying that I was technically right. Because there is no way to get out of that bag. Even if you want to call it a gray area, there is no way to get out of that bag.
It's a huge gray area, though, bro. It's a
That's
huge fucking
that's
gray.
I disagree with it being a gray area, but
Like 40,000 years. Like
yeah, what is up with you, bro? You okay? But
don't
yeah,
even start,
it's
bro.
it's
Don't even
it's it's
start because I did a whole
what?
show on those antics.
Oh my
You don't
god.
see me over here with a cat on my head.
These
Dunking
niggas,
bullshit. You
these
did me
niggas
dirty,
is
B,
burnt
on some
out.
real shit. So don't get mad.
Hey, both you niggas New Yorkers, so I get it now.
Nah, I ain't from no
Nah, he ain't
goddamn.
no New Yorker.
I'm
He
from
ain't from New
Miami,
York.
Florida.
Oh, I thought you both you niggas was New Yorkers.
Nah, especially not a new. Nah, I'm just playing.
Yeah,
But nah, I was saying thank you, and even to you, Zion. Like you said, you agreed. So yeah. Now nobody's saying that we're the same species. I'm not making that argument, bro. Like that's not the argument that I'm making. You see what I'm saying? So that's cool. But once people understand the argument, then they can at least come to a place like how you guys came to. So yeah, with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce. But next time somebody hit me up or something and say like
Whoa,
y'all
whoa,
having a
whoa,
conversation.
whoa, whoa. What you leaving for,
JJ
man?
seven, JJ 7 cents. What's up, bro?
JJ
Oh
We
said,
man,
just
I'm just chilling, bro. Hey,
we
I'm
just
listening to
wore
you,
your we
Banana Peel.
we
Hey,
we wore your
I've been
whole
listening to you.
panel out.
Look, I've been listening to you, Banana Pillars. You know, talking about we
Right,
monkey. This monkey business got to stop, man. It's got to
right.
stop. You
Banana
know.
pimping. It's banana
But I'm
pimping.
just listening, man. Y'all get out how you live, man. You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Q, would you like to set up something with my champion over here, my middleweight champion, my intercontinental champion? You know,
Who is
see if
that?
you running.
Wait a minute. I thought that spot belonged to motherfucking King Seth.
King, no, King Self, man. Hey, that's over at the source, man.
Oh,
You
my
know.
bad, my bad.
Yeah. You know.
I thought this was the same thing for some reason.
I
They
mean,
are.
they came up
They
out of here. You know.
they are.
Oh, so you mean to tell me that they stem from y'all, like how we stem from monkeys? Oh, okay, okay, I get it.
No, no, not quite.
Yeah.
I get
Not
it.
quite.
That was
Yeah.
a good one. That was
Hey,
a good
the split
one.
happened.
The split, yes,
We
but that's
went
what
right, they went left.
Oh god, the
oh,
divergence, the
Yeah.
divergence.
man, that's crazy.
Nah, hey, I
That's
love my
uh,
source brothers, man. I love my source brothers. So,
that was a good one right there. I like that shit. But yeah, anytime that your folks need a little academic tune up with this coming to the science, just let me know, bro. Because I'm only doing this for free for the next 90 days. After that, I'm gonna have to start charging niggas tuition to get this science
yeah,
lesson. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm tired of doing this shit for free. I at least
hey,
gotta I know my worth. You know
Nah,
what
you
I'm
unethical, man. You mad unethical, bro.
saying? You know what I
Hey, but
mean?
I told you
well, I'll say
you
this
was
real
working
quick.
outside of the ethics. You was working outside.
Yeah, I'll say
You know
this
what I'm
real
saying?
quick before I bounce. Who's the you said the middleweight intercontinental champion? Who's that?
Yeah, he's the Intercontinental Champion over here, middleweight Intercontinental. Either one, what do you want to call it?
Me,
Oh,
yo,
okay. Yeah.
Smusher man, baby.
Now,
I know who you talking
he been
But
telling
yeah,
me you've been running from him, brother. So I don't know if
nah,
you
come
know
on,
that.
man. Nah, I know he ain't been saying that. But yeah, we could definitely set something up, man. I got actually it works
What
perfect.
topic would it be?
I don't know. Like I'd rather deal with his God that he believes in, to be honest with you.
The Garden of Eden. Where the fuck is it?
Listen, man, I would converse about that, but I wouldn't debate that, man. I'm not wasting my time on no mystical place. I'm not interested. That's just
Yeah,
something I
we
just
want
be.
we want to hear some
highly
scientific talk.
subjective. That's highly subjective. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I can't even fully
Can
define what God is.
can you prove?
Honestly,
Can you
real
can
shit.
you prove that the God of the Bible exists?
Can I
Uh
prove
oh.
that the God of the Bible exists?
You had to say
I
it
can
again
that
to
my
understand
faith
it.
is sufficient.
Right? I mean, what do you want? What kind of proof are you
Uh
looking for?
oh. They got nervous. They got
He
nervous.
did. He
Oh
did.
no,
The
I ain't nervous.
nigga start stuttering and shit.
I,
The nigga
my
start
faith,
stuttering. The
my
Hey,
nigga
faith,
hey,
start.
my
wait,
faith is sufficient. My faith is sufficient. We're getting into that argument.
hey, what do you mean, man?
That's my faith is sufficient. I think we're
See. You know what's so funny, JJ? It's like you say he's running. Listen, it's so
Oh
funny,
Thank
shit.
you.
JJ, because it's so funny because you say I'm running from him, but I ask him one question and he doesn't even want to answer it because he knows where I'm going.
it's not something that you
But
can
I'm the
actually
one running from
quantify.
him.
This guy is
How we gonna
unquantifiable.
how we
That's
gonna judge
absurd.
that debate, man?
Because if I believe in the God of the Bible, that means that I can't even fully fathom him according to the Bible.
Teach, son.
Here we
According to
go.
the
Here we
Bible,
go.
I
Here
would
we
not
go.
even be
Hold on,
able to
Here we
quantify.
go.
Wait, hold on.
Here
According to
comes
the
the buck
scriptures, I
dance.
could not quantify. If I believe in the God of the Bible, I cannot quantify him. I
okay.
cannot understand him. I
Mm,
cannot motherfucking goddamn manifest him for you. I can't.
Right.
If I
okay, so
believe
hold on.
Ooh.
So we
So,
that
need
so
another
Bucks.
topic. We need
hold
another
on,
topic.
whoa, hold on, really quick. This brother is saying that he believes in something that he can't even understand
He
himself.
believes in things he don't understand.
so
That
it's the
sounds
Listen,
same
like
thing with
Stevie
science,
Wonder.
though.
That's a
You make
it's
theories. You make theories. Like for instance, hold on.
no, I
Hold
don't
on.
want to delve into that, brother. I want to talk about the debate. Can you prove that your God exists? Yes or no?
I want to
I
debate
believe
that.
I believe you, Zion. I believe you. See.
I wouldn't debate that. That's not a debate.
Yeah. Fuck
We know
you.
it's
You're
though.
trying to use objective truths against subjective interpretation, and
That's
that
Hold
right.
on.
is not a debate.
So, so
We
That
don't do
doesn't
that.
work.
We don't do that over here, man.
he just called his God subjective. Man, get him the fuck out of here. I'm
Yeah,
done with you.
Oh.
because
You're
I don't
done,
have a
bro.
full
You're
understanding of God.
done, bro.
So
You
it
listen
is
to the
my
words you're
it's
using.
my
You just
subjective
called God subjective.
interpretation of how I see God is not up for debate
Bro, you
because
just
you don't
called
even believe
God
in God.
subjective, bro. You listen, this is why religion
I'm
exists
telling you that
because it is
my
subjective.
understanding of God is
Which
subjective.
means it's subjective because it's your understanding. You're not
Okay, say what you want to say.
you're
That doesn't
saying the
have nothing
same
to do
thing
with the
but
price of
using
a can of
different
beans
words.
in Botswana. I said
Just
we can't argue the two. Objective versus objective, subjective versus subjective.
okay, so does
That's
God
how we
exist? Okay, I got you, brother. Does God exist? Excuse me, does God exist objectively?
Uh-oh.
depends on
Hello?
how you view God.
No, brother, it's a question. Does God exist
Watch
objectively?
this. Okay, so let me
No,
answer this.
man. No, bro.
What?
It's a yes
No,
or
you
no
want to answer,
question.
right?
Either
I
God
thought you wanted
does
to
or
answer.
does not exist
I'm going
objectively.
to give you an answer that you're not going to like.
What you mean? You're not gonna answer the question?
I'm going to answer the question to the best of my capacity, but you're
No,
still not
you're
like my.
gonna respond. You're not gonna give me an answer. You're gonna respond. I
Yeah,
want an
because
answer,
you
not a
think that
response.
I'm one of these. No. See, here's the problem. You think I'm one of these fundamentalists, and that's where you fucked up.
Bro, never mind all of that.
You don't
Does God
understand
exist
how I view.
objectively or
No,
not?
wait, hold on. You don't understand how I view the scriptures and prophecy.
I
I
don't
view it
care.
from a very secular. Wait, hold on. I view it from a very secular understanding. Secular.
Bro, I don't care, brother. The only thing I
I'm
care
a
about.
secular Israelite. Well, understand that first and foremost. See, when I came out and chose a nationality, I chose a nationality based upon what I understood from my upbringing.
Seriously.
So at the end of the day, I'm an Israelite.
But
Because
we're
that's
not
what I was
talking
taught.
about you is being an
I'm a
Israelite.
nationalistic, and I can support that with genetics. I can support that with science, objective facts. Now, when it comes to my doctrine, that is not up for debate for you because you have no doctrine whatsoever.
Yes,
Yeah.
my doctrine is
My
that your
doctrine has to go up
my
against
doctrine is
somebody
that
else's
your
doctrine
God
on the
does not
same
exist
motherfucking goddamn
objectively. That's my doctrine.
perception.
My doctrine is your God does not exist objectively. Now, can you answer this question now? Does your God exist objectively or not? Meaning,
Show me
without a
scientific
listen,
fact
brother.
that says that God does not exist when there is no scientist who actually tries to prove or disprove that there is a creator.
You're looking at him, brother.
Get
So
out
let
of
me
here, man.
ask you one more time.
Don't
I'm
jump
gonna
off your
ask
own
you
dick.
one more.
One thing I don't
Listen,
like. Wait, hold
y'all
on.
see who's
This is
running,
what
right?
I
Now y'all see who's
is
running,
wait,
right?
hold on. This is what
Nah,
I
there
object.
is no
I
hold on,
object.
brother.
Wait, hold on. I object to human beings trying to make themselves the creator. At the
I
end of
see
the
a
day,
lot of pump
it
faking.
is
I see a
Talking about,
it is
lot
no,
of
I'm
your
not
pump
talking
faking.
about
subjective
you. I'm not
wait,
talking
it's
about
your
humans or nothing.
subjective
I'm asking you,
interpretation
does
that
your
leads you
God
to
exist
understand the world
objectively?
I see a
as
lot
you
of pump
perceive it.
faking. I see a lot of pump faking.
Who?
I
Bro,
see
Me?
a
all I'm
whole lot of
asking,
pump faking.
And
listen,
for
What he
let's look
wants
at
to
it.
do is he
This
wants
brother
to try
done went
to
down
turn
the
me
path to tell
into
me
a
about he's an
position that I
Israelite
don't
and he could prove
necessarily
it.
believe in.
oh
This
man,
brother,
damn, we all over the place. First of
no,
all,
no, no, we
we
not,
are
no, we not.
creators.
Please,
We are creators. We have the right to
hold on,
create.
hold on. Let me just finish this. This brother done went down the path of telling me that he's an Israelite and he could prove that when that wasn't my question. This brother done went down the path to talk about scientists that don't say that. That's not the question. The question is, does your God exist objectively or not? That's the question.
That's a trick question. You can't prove it. You
Whom
can't
exists?
prove that
I mean,
God exists, and you cannot prove that God does exist or
Listen,
that He doesn't
yes,
exist.
hey
Now,
brother,
now,
brother,
now, now,
respectfully,
depends on
now
where you
to
respectfully,
stand.
now
brother,
to now
respectfully,
to
brother,
communicate
respectfully,
this
brother,
efficiently.
respectfully, I'm trying to speak with this brother
Right,
about
right.
a debate. You
But
free to say whatever you want to say, and I'm gonna have an
yeah, but
issue with you,
No. Go
and I'm gonna
ahead,
build with you.
CeeLo.
But
We
I
need
yeah,
more
but
need
voices
him.
on
I
the
just
court.
yeah. I just want to
I
say
need
this.
him to listen, but I know you just want to say that. I
In
need no
order
disrespect.
to
I need no
yeah,
disrespect.
Hold on,
You
let
ain't
this
need
brother
to tell
my
me.
talk,
brother,
man.
let me just say this. In order to
Nah,
properly
brother, I'm not gonna
communicate,
let you say that because
You
he
was
keeps
about to
running his
leave.
oh,
You
mouth.
you
about to leave
you don't know what
OTQ,
I'm gonna
man. Come on,
say.
man. Let's
No,
fuck
but listen,
leave,
brother,
man.
Let
respectfully,
me
I don't care what you're about to say because I want him
Oh,
to say it.
okay.
No disrespect,
All
bro.
right. Then
I'm asking him a
then I'll
question.
fall back. It's between
No,
you and him. Okay,
bro,
fine.
listen, if you listen, I'm only gonna ask him one more time and then I'm gonna bounce. So nobody can ever say that I'm the one that's running from a debate with him. So I'm asking you, brother, for the final time. Does your God exist objectively or not?
Define objectively for him, please.
Meaning,
Define that for him.
meaning without a human brain or any.
I don't need him to define it for me, brother. I know I was the one over here talking about the difference between objective and
So
subjective.
answer it. So answer it.
I just answered it, asked and answered, shut the fuck up, move the strike.
Does your God exist
I said to
objectively?
you, no, to me, yes.
But that's subjective. That's not objective. Because
Hey,
objective,
so eat a dick. Just accept
bro.
the answer.
See
Accept
how
the answer, nigga.
the
You can't
disrespect
force
comes
me to
when
try
you're
to answer
wrong.
the question the way you
This
want me to.
no,
That's
listen.
not gonna happen, nigga.
So you know what?
I'm
When
not
a
gonna
person,
answer the question according to how you dictate. You
but you
do not
have to.
dictate my beliefs or
Yes, I
my
do.
motherfucking personal
Yes, I
opinions.
do.
My
Yes, I do.
theses, my theories, my motherfucking hypothesis. You
Are
have
all
no
bullshit.
control over that. You can motherfucking eat your face.
And you know
I said,
why?
you
Because it's
gotta accept it
subjective.
or fucking goddamn show your ass.
Because it's
Okay?
subjective.
So
Listen, man.
you want to
Okay, my
debate, and the
nigga.
topic
Okay,
is
my
that's
nigga.
going to be the
Hey,
topic.
hey, hey. With that being said,
Fuck
I'm gonna
out
go
of here,
ahead and
man.
bounce, man. Thanks
Answer
for the
how you
build.
want to answer. I
Thanks for
answered
the
the way
build.
I
I
fucking answered.
appreciate it. Thanks for the build. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? To the brother Silo's Congress, man. No disrespect.
Act
I
like a
was really
fucking
just
No, that's
adult,
trying
fine.
nigga.
to.
That's fine.
I was really just trying to
Answer the
draw out
shit
an
like 3
answer.
fucking times, bro.
You want to debate him. You want to
Yeah, that's what I
schedule a
was doing.
debate.
Oh, it's
All right.
inevitable.
That's
It's
what I was
So
doing.
the
inevitable.
topic
It's
And the brother ran.
inevitable.
Yeah, the brother ran, but it's
We
cool.
going to debate.
Hey,
It's just going to
Karima,
be the matter of what the
Karima,
topic
thank
is.
you so much. Karima, thank you so much, sister.
We
You
going to
know what I'm
debate.
saying?
We going to get it in. That's
I'll
my
just
nigga. He's my equal. I'm going to smush his head in though.
Be looking for that debate.
Hey, all right, man. I'm out,
And if
man.
Karima and
Zion,
JJ
hold it
wants,
down,
I
bro.
can even
Mudiwa, you
moderate
up?
it, and I can even moderate it, you know, and you know, by unbiased. Who's that? But yo,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I just wanted to say this, man. That in terms of evolution, I thought you were speaking about evolution. I just
Yeah,
wanted
we
to ask
was.
a
Go ahead, brother.
question. Yeah, I want to ask a question to everybody. Consider this, man. What cultures do you know around the world that reveres the monkey? What culture that they revere the monkeys? Can you
The
name a few
Chinese
of them?
do. Yeah,
Thank you.
Chinese really revere the monkey. They have something called the
That's right.
Monkey King, which is
Yes.
a deity that they actually believe was a
Facts.
god. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That lived in the
Facts.
Jade Palace, right? So if you
Facts.
watch any of the movies called the Monkey King, you'll
Mhm.
see that actually this king actually represents some of the titans that were spoken of in even Greek mythology that came
Facts.
from Atheios.
Facts.
Yeah,
And also the Hindus, amongst the Hindus, there in the story of Rama, there's a story
right.
of the monkey people, that created the bridge to cross over, and they had a battle with the other humanoids. But yeah, you're right. So that's where the story of evolution comes from. You know what I'm saying? These revering for monkeys and stuff. You know, because even if you're going scientifically, yeah, hominin do have a common
I love you
ancestry.
too, Q, but you get your head smushed with me.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't say, but not for every human or every human species on the earth. You don't get what I'm saying? I mean,
Yes, yes.
eventually they mixed in, they amalgamated. In other words, you had
Right.
cultures and people that came out of the monkey gene, what they call the simian genes. You know what I'm saying? These are very
Yes.
intelligent monkeys, but they mixed in with humanoids. You know what I'm saying? Now you also
Right.
have humanoids that were created in the waters of Uganda. There were humanoids created that were
See,
not monkeys. You know what I'm saying? But
right, but they were
eventually
not
they did
considered
mix.
man either. They were not
Right.
considered man
They were not.
either.
Right. Man came later
You
on. Right.
understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Them
So
they
a
were
lot of times when we look at the
mankind. You're right.
scriptures,
Right.
that there were people that existed even before Adam and Eve,
Of course.
where even Cain had to have a mark placed upon his skin to
Mhm.
protect himself from the
Facts.
people of the land of Nod. They did not come
Yeah.
from Adam
But
and
even in
Eve.
Genesis, in the
They
Garden of
came,
Eden, right?
yeah,
Even in Genesis,
they
in the Garden of
predated
Eden,
Adam and Eve.
they became like us.
Right.
There was tribes that were throughout. You know what I'm
Right. And
saying?
they were considered
Yeah.
as the beasts of the field. This is one of the
Yes.
reasons why that term
Right.
Gentile
Right.
really means beast man. And this is why when you go to Revelations, it says the mark, the name of the man is the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
Why does it say that? Because when you say nombre in Latin, nombre also translate to number and numero, right? So every letter had a mathematical equivalent. And so when they said the name of the beast is the mark, right? Then his name is the mark of the beast. This is talking about a man who they did not consider Homo sapien sapien.
Right. 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 Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
civilized.
Right.
Still
Right.
scratching his knees.
So
Still eating his
you had
own
many
flesh.
species throughout the globe. You had many species that depending on the conditions that came out of those conditions, many species, simian
Right,
species
where they killed their own children, ate
yeah,
their own
yeah,
flesh, bro.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. So
And you know
evolution,
that people who
right?
are cannibals, you know that people who are cannibals, you know that there's a genetic effect that happens to people who eat other human flesh, right?
Yes, that's a practice. As a matter of fact, in Thailand, I think they eat their
It makes
ancestors.
them sick,
Yeah,
mentally
fulfill.
sick. There's a mental
there's disease that
illness.
come out of that. Yeah, that's a good movie about that.
Yes.
The disease that come out of that. That's
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but the
So-
conversation
so
of
this
evolution,
happens, and then it passes down genetically. This is why there's Jeffrey Dahmer. This
Hey,
is
hey,
why there's Ed Gein.
Zion,
Come on.
let's get in. He's trying to get in twice.
I'm sorry.
well, yeah. I just
Salakia.
wanted to interject something here about that evolution. Evolutionary stage is just like 1/4 of what they call the cycle of existence. If anybody study natural nature, you know what I'm saying? It's like the seasons. You got spring, summer, fall, and winter. So you also have seasons, like women have trimesters, certain seasons that the fetus is developed. Also, the universe goes through certain seasons when it develops.
Yeah.
So one of those seasons is called the evolutionary stage, but that's only 1/4. You have the origination stage, then that origination stage become a de-origination stage. Then you have the evolution, and then you have the revolution. It revolves back from evolution is the end result of any species. Evolution is the end result. And then what happened is it revolves back to an original stage. So this is a cycle that's continuing in natural nature. It's eternal. So
You see that in Daniel and in Revelations.
You do?
That's what they're describing.
Okay, I did not know that. I got to look that up. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of
yeah.
scriptural quotes that you can extract natural nature. That's a fact. So thanks for that. Okay.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm just saying, that's interesting that
I'm supporting you on that though, because that's actually biblical. And what most people don't want to accept is that it's biblical. You know what I mean?
Right.
They want to look at the Bible according to how many Protestant churches and many Catholic churches taught it, and this is not how our ancestors taught it, and that's the real
I
truth.
think to really stand to reason the Bible, you got to be sort of like a polypath. You know what I'm saying? You have to really think out the box and look into different concepts and ideas, and make sure that those pieces fit perfectly together, and then you can ascertain a clear definition and consciousness of what biblical saying, because a lot of things have been hidden in the Bible, but it's been hidden as allegory and metaphors, and it's been hidden secrets. That's the reason why, as a masonry, they guard a lot of those secrets. They have libraries. They where they say they bury those lies, and a lie is just a half truth. You know what I'm saying? If you know how to take all those lies and put them together and fit them perfectly together, you can arrive at the truth. Because you got to know the truth in order to tell a lie. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But I'm looking forward to checking out this debate. You know what I'm saying?
That verse
I don't think it's a debate.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's a debate. Nobody signed up for one.
Oh, okay.
Did it? Did you sign up for one?
Yeah, I don't think it's a debate. Yeah, I don't think it's really a debate, because on so many planes, I actually agree with both OTQ and Mudiwa. You know what I'm saying? Those are my brothers. You know what I'm saying? I look at it from a different perspective, because they don't actually look into the biblical text to see if there are any corresponding ideologies or thoughts that may support. But what the brother just said is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 7. It says, "But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the world unto our glory." Right? So this means that none of us really or truly have the full understanding of what God is trying to say, even to the old scribes,
unless you're initiated into that order where in that particular order where that is being taught and it's being experienced. You know, it's a particular, there's an order, like I said, the order of Melchizedek or the order of the Essenes. There's certain orders that, that they do hide a lot of those mysteries that are from the Most High. They hide those mysteries because they don't want it to, you know, in other words, it's a rite of passage, and you don't want to get into the hands of certain groups of people that migrates into your area and use that against your population, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, that is important.
Right. It has to be earned, and it has to be earned earnestly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That's
why I always say there's a true Christianity and there's a false Christianity. The false Christianity always propagate belief. You know, always into the belief. You could just have blind faith, but true Christianity, you had to know certain things in order to have that rite of passage. You know what I'm saying? It was in order. You had to induct certain things. You had to know.
You had to walk.
You have to walk. Exactly. You had to walk. Right. You had to answer a question like, for instance, I always say this question, like, what walks on 4, then on 2, and then on 3? You have to answer that question. What walks on 4, then walks on 2, and then walks on 3? The answer, I'll give you the answer. The answer is man. Man crawls on 4. Right. You have to show man crawls on 4, then he walks on 2 legs, and then as an old elder, he walks with a cane. 3. Right? That you had to answer that question in order to enter into certain schools passage. You have to know that question because they're testing your logic. They're testing your ability to reason things out. But in other words, you can believe in your cart that'll take you to your destination, but not know that there's a wheel loose because you haven't investigated the wheel. So that's the difference between belief and knowing. So yeah, they did the switcheroo. Right. They propagated a lot of beliefs. So you got people out here that just believe,
simple faith over actually weighing and you know what I'm saying, weighing the law, weighing the text, actually studying the show thyself approved. Right.
And experience it too.
Where there are weaknesses, then you try to find the understandings of where those weaknesses are and where they aren't.
Right. Vortex, that's right. Christian mystic. I'm a mystic. I am also a mystic. You know what I'm saying? That's the school that I come from. Yeah, that's the school that I come from. I'm a Sufi mystic. I mean, Suf is a cloak that I can cloak myself into Christianity, Judaism, Islam.
I'm a Sephardic. Yeah, I'm a messianic Jew, man. You know what I mean?
I got you.
And I'm a Rastafari, so I believe in His Imperial Majesty as one of the 2 witnesses, Emperor Haile Selassie.
Right, that's a very important house in Ethiopia. The house. I'm a crown ambassador for the Empress of Sheba, which is a lineage that goes all the way back, and she's tied into Yemen and also to Sudan.
Midian. Midian.
That's the I'm a Sabiic. You know what I'm saying, and that only that's just that term. But I'm like I said, I'm more of a mystic. I'm more polypath, and I can really cloak myself as long as it's white.
Where are you from? Because I hear your accent.
I am originally born in the Bronx, raised in the Bronx, Brooklyn, but my parents are from Puerto Rico, Spanish, and they came to the Bronx. So I was born in the Bronx. So in my household, we spoke a lot of Spanish, but then I learned English in the school system. So I speak both Spanish.
What about Lukumi?
No, I do. Salamango Chango. Yeah. Well, I venture into that because I'm a percussionist, so I know how to play bata.
Yeah, I'm a percussionist as well, man. My father was an Olubata.
Yeah, I play. Me too. So I play bata. I don't have mano in nya. I don't have mano. I don't have mano in nya yet, but I do. Play in those circles around Tampa, Florida.
You know that all your Yoruba is connected to the Israelites as well, right?
Of course, Yoruba. Of course, Urugu. Yeah, because those are sciences that I think the the tribe of Levi was practicing a lot of sciences.
Levi.
Yeah, and they practice a lot of sciences. Because remember,
Yeah.
Moses studied also in Kemet, so a lot of those sciences of doing
Can.
occult sciences that was learned and it was passed on to a lot of the Israelites. It was passed on.
Right. Right.
So,
And then
yeah.
after the Assyrian expulsion, many
Mhm.
Israelites went into West Africa, into like
Yes.
Sierra Leone,
Yes.
Nigeria, and Ghana.
Right.
And they lived there, the Igbos, the Bantus, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
they were there and they
Right.
adopted a lot of the culture that already existed, but they looked at it the same way we would look at the angelic council of the
Mhm.
Most High. So you had Michael, who represents Chango, right?
Mm.
And Gabriel, who represents, you know what I'm saying, either Abatala or Ilegwa, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but
So
yeah.
the same thing, they were able to hide their beliefs when they
Right.
came here as slaves, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? And went to Cuba, right?
Yeah.
They were able to because they already knew these stories
Yes.
because they came from the
Well,
Ivory
yeah,
Coast, the
yeah,
West
they
Coast of
were, yeah,
Africa.
yeah. The science of what you say Israelite, actually
Yeah,
Judaism,
yeah,
what it became Judaism later on. That's an Asiatic practice, and yeah, there was a
and
migration of people that did come and amalgamated with
right.
other tribes, yeah, and hid a lot of those practices. Yeah, yeah, we're Asiatic
Exactly.
people. So,
And
yeah,
that's what I
I
try to
agree.
tell a lot of people because they want to come from one position and say, well, this is Egyptian and this was taken from the Egyptians, or this is the Greeks and this is the Greeks, but the Greeks followed the Egyptians and the Egyptians followed the teachings that came from the Nile Valley traditions. And many of those Nile Valley traditions were highly affected by the Central African
Yeah,
influences that
yeah,
also
yeah.
traveled
Congo
in.
Basin.
And
Yep, yep.
they were all called Hyksos because they were rulers of a foreign land.
Right, but the original people that were in the Nile Valley, the original people, what they call the Nubian people, were from the Ma Federation. The Ma Federation people, Ma for Mangala, what they call Ma, like we say Mama, are people that came from the water. They call the
Yeah.
Fish Confederation. They migrated. They were hunter gatherers. They migrated into many areas. They were the beginning. They were the precursor, the beginning of what they call
Okay.
ancient Kemet. They were also
Yeah.
in Samaria. They were known as Magari, and
Huh.
in the Hindu and the Indus Valley there was Hindu Kush. They went in there and they were also known as
Hinduskush, yeah.
Kushite people. So they were the Ma people, they were the hunter gatherers, and they spread all over. But then what happened is, it's like when you leave your tribe, right? At times, and your family grows. At sometimes, and you're in a
Right.
foreign land, you want to get back into, you want to visit your home state. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You want to return
So
back to your
you want to
origins.
return
Ken.
back. So a lot of, when they came back, and a lot of, and they grew through the experience, because of the conditions in Mesopotamia was different than the conditions you would find in Africa. So those conditions created certain cultures, and when they came back into
Huh.
the Nile Valley, they amalgamated. They amalgamated with a lot of the
Right.
cultures there. So
Right.
it's a mixture of
Right.
cultures. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
an interesting thing is that with that, you know what I'm saying? If you go back to shout out outside the cube, you know what I'm saying? I love you, my brother. You're my brother, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to sports you. But
A
but with
pseudo way, he's
that
my
time
dude, pseudo way.
period, the time period of 1920s, 1930s, when the early Israelite groups came out, the Moorish Zionist
Zionist,
Temple,
more, yes, more
you know what I'm
Zionist
saying?
temple. That's right.
Yeah, the Moorish Zionist Temple. But at the same time, there was a brother named Chief Bey.
Hey, can
Chief
I go at
Bey.
this time?
Yeah. I'm about to tie it up. So there was a grouping of Israelites,
Mhm.
Cometics, and the Lukumi, the African
Right.
Oyo Yoruba
Yeah.
groups were all unified
Right. Under
at
Marcus
that
Garvey.
time
Yeah.
through the
Mhm.
EWF and through
Yeah.
the
You're right.
UNIA.
Yeah. That's a fact.
And the Moorish Science Temple from under what's his name?
Noble Drew Ali.
The Honorable.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali. They were all connecting, you know what I'm saying? And that time was one of the most powerful times in our cultural history.
Right.
This is why I have to get back to the nationality. Because I don't care if you want to come be, you know what I'm saying, call yourself a comedic. I don't care if you want to call yourself no. Yo, listen, outside the cube, I got sources. I got sources outside the cube. I got sources. So watch this. So we had these
can just
groups
pause for
that
1
were
second.
unifying. Go ahead, Doc.
Lex Vortex, I need you to get on here, and I need you to get on here right now, because you're
Take off
responsible.
that bonnet.
Hold up. You're responsible for teaching Napasada that Jesus Christ is a serpent in the garden. You got some explaining to do. Now, I see you in the chat.
Yeah.
Come on here, jump on here, and tell us what you mean, bro. Go ahead, Zara.
Come on, Lex. You know we love you in here, man. You're gonna get your head smushed, but you know what I'm saying? We love you in here, man. You always got some place to motherfucking goddamn get your head smushed.
That's far
CeeLo, what's
reaching.
good, Aki?
Yeah, bro. I'm here. Yeah, that's far reaching when you make a statement like Jesus Christ being the serpent in the garden. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
I know where they're getting that
yeah.
from. That's a school of thought narrative, and that's a Kemetic school of thought, because they believe that Jesus Christ was also known as Tahuti. Tahuti was the Jesus Christ. Tahuti, Thoth, what they call Thoth or Hermes, and there is a narrative that says that he was the one in the garden that beguiled or deceived, because he's the art of deception. He practiced the art of deception, the best deceiver, and that's what he does. And so he deceived Eve in the garden. That's where they're getting that from. But that's just a school of thought, man. I mean, that's all speculative. You can't really prove anything like that.
I've heard of another school where Christ represents Heru, and Heru was the son of Asar, right?
Right.
And Asar dying, Aset pulled the genealogy from the corpse of her dismembered husband, who was cut into 14 pieces.
Right.
She put them back together, right? And still did not have the 15th piece, which would have been his phallus, right? And this is why in Egypt you have all of the tekins that are right. So the thing, the school of thought that I heard was that Christ was Heru, the son of the father Asar, who was Ra in flesh, God in flesh, but he lost to Set and then resurrected and then destroyed Set.
But Zion, let me just offer this.
Yeah,
go
ahead,
and a perfect example for, I always use the movie Godfather, right? And look at the name Godfather, right? You've seen the movie Godfather, right? And so the head Godfather,
my father produced that film. Yeah, my father produced that film.
Okay, well, the Godfather, right? And so you see Vito Corleone, right? So people get so much into the movie. Did Vito Corleone, was that an actual person that existed? No. Vito Corleone was right. Vito Corleone was a combination of many characters, like for instance, Angelo Bruno from Philadelphia, Giancana from Chicago. You got Vito Genovese. All these characters, all these bosses, their characters were put together to create. Now that's script writing, to create a character called Vito Corleone and put him in a movie, put him in a script. It's the same thing with what the Christians did with the story of Jesus Christ. And they took stories from Mithra, they took story from Hindu, from Krishna, they took story from Heru, they took story from ancient Kemet, Tahuti. They took all these stories and amalgamated to give an actual man that existed, a revolutionist, I would say that this Yeshua was a revolutionist because he was against the Roman, the Romans, and he had a problem with the Romans. There was a whole thing going on, but there was a man called Yeshua who lived, but he didn't do the things that they said he did. They deified him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This happens amongst religion, is they deify you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why we get so many stories, man, and Heru, and some people just, because of their perspective, they want to stick to one side. But when you break it down, I mean, you really have to go into the actual facts, of I understand how scripts are played, how script come to be formed. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's a scripture is a script. You have a beginning, an ending, a resolution.
Depends on who's the writer.
Exactly.
Depends on who's the writer.
And many writers in the Bible. Right.
If it's the enemy is going to write the narrative how they want it to be seen.
Yes.
But if it's the person who is the victim of the crime, or the person who is coming out of the captivity, then you'll see that the story is much different. However, you can connect the two stories together because they share commonalities and time periods that you cannot get over, like with Akhenaten and Moses, and with Imhotep and Joseph.
Right.
Yeah, I'm standing on Imhotep and Joseph, and I'm standing on Akhenaten and Moses. Who want the smoke?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of similarity between Akhenaten and Moses.
Akhenaten. See, one person, and I ain't gonna bring up her name. I'm not gonna bring up her name since she think everybody trying to ride her coattails. I'm not gonna bring up her name, but she said that Yahweh was comparable to Typhon of the Greek mythos, and tried to connect Typhon to Saturnalius when Saturn is called Jove by the Romans and called Cronus by the Greeks. But Typhon is not even really a full Titan. He's called a Titan because of his size and his mass. But he was created, Typhon was created by Hades, not Jesus.
No.
Hades. Although when you put that Hey in front of the name, it places deity over the person's name. So when you say Hades, Hades is not a place, y'all. Y'all want to study some Greek mythology, go ahead and study it. You need to. If you want to differentiate when the Greeks began putting Hellenized ideological ideologies within the Judaic narrative.
That's true. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you really have to.
So a lot of cats, a lot of cats will say, Zion, why you ain't an OT only head? Just because I don't subscribe to the teachings of Paul, right? But I do subscribe to the Gospels, and I subscribe to Revelations. I subscribe to Timothy. I subscribe to certain books that came even after Paul, because Paul preached to the Gentile. His preaching wasn't for us.
Right. It tells you that Romans, the Corinthians, all the different people, Gentiles. Yeah.
All his letters were to the Gentile. And he said, I become all things so that God can be glorified. To all men, I become all things. He did that work.
Yeah, he was responsible for creating that school of thought. He was responsible for that. Yeah.
Right.
To create that, because he was he studied theology. Yeah, that was his thing.
And that started the theology of the Catholic Church, right?
Yeah.
And we don't subscribe to the Catholic Church. If you're going to go with any church, you would go back to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which looks at the divinity of Christ as being fully man, yet God reside in him. And so because of God's will over one of our ancestors, he in that state was divinely inspired to walk in the favor of the Most High.
Yeah,
And
I
that
definitely
is
get where you're
different.
coming from, you know, and but you know, God in lack of a better term, you know what I'm saying? So I do
Right.
understand what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So when you
We
say
all have
God,
that.
you can say El Elyon, which means the Most High
Ilion,
God,
El, yeah.
or
Yeah,
you can
most high.
say right angel, which is like malak in the Hebrew. Angel means a messenger. It can be an ontological angel, like a seraphim, cherubim, or one of the fiery wheels of the heavens, or it can be a man. One
It's a
likened
title.
unto
Yeah, it's a
man.
title. God
It's a
actually is a
title.
title.
It's a title.
It's a title. It
It's a
means to
title.
be in control of things. Yeah, it's a title.
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically giving one person authority, and having authority, whether it be of God or not of God. Somebody points a gun in your face. At that moment, they might not be a righteous L, but they're a L nonetheless, because they have judgment over your life. Unless, of course, you're as nice as
Facts.
me and you
Yep.
take the gun out of their hand and smack them with it and stick it in their mouth and tell them to motherfucking goddamn walk off. Not to, try to
Yeah.
ego stroke. But
Yeah.
so
But definitely,
this
there's
is the
so much we
thing.
can explore on this. But I'm
Yes.
gonna have to
Okay.
leave right
Yeah,
now.
okay, brother.
Something to take care of. But
All right.
yeah, man, I
Yeah, I
appreciate this
appreciate you,
very much.
Shiloh.
Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, JJ. And yeah, man. I missed
Much
the
love to you,
earlier
Aki.
bill, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
keep doing the good works, man. So peace.
Obviously. Yeah. You already know, man. Much love to you, Aki. So Mudiwa, you still there? Where the great gorilla number 2 come? Where you at?
He's asleep.
Yeah, man. This
All
one been long. I'm finna step out right there, take care of a little business.
right. All right.
It's
Yeah,
been
I'm just
great
going.
chopping
I'm
it
just
up.
going to close out with my little position, and if anybody wants to smoke, they can come and get it.
Right, right.
I'm gonna
Well,
keep
do
it
your
short.
thing.
And I'm gonna keep it
Yep.
sweet.
Peace and
I
love to
love you to
everybody
death.
listening. All right, I'm out.
Love you to death, Aki. Yep. So at the end of the day, Sister Karima, may I? I'm gonna ask the Queen first.
Go ahead.
All right. So at the end of the day, if anybody has a position on scriptural context in relation to scientific context, we can have that discussion, or we can even debate it. You know, I'm not, what I'm saying, one to turn down the challenge. Y'all know me. I take all challenges, win or lose. It's for the edification of the people at the end of the day. And I love you all. Even my haters, I love y'all too. Because hate ain't nothing but love in reverse. So with that said, hallelujah, holla back.